All right, family. Hopefully my microphone is good. Let me know if it sounds crazy.
There is a big difference. See, genetics, that's about shared traits. All right. Lineages, that's about shared experiences and legal inheritance. See, having similar DNA, that doesn't mean that you have the same historical journey. See, lineage, that refers to direct uh, ancestors and an ancestral line that connects a person to specific events, struggles, entitlements, things like slavery, Jim Crow, redlining. So lineage is a more direct connection. Lineage is documented and traceable. Genetics, that's broad and non-specific. Like, for example, we have African genetics. Yeah, we never deny that. Yeah, we got African
Appreciate you always.
genetics, but it's so damn vague. There is a big difference. See, genetics, that's about.
There you go. So that's for those who claim we don't claim any African DNA. Okay? Just lies. Just more lies. All right. Now, before we get started, let's look at the ethnogenesis for white people. Okay. So the term white Americans refer to people in the United States who are classified as white, primarily based on their European ancestry. See, they don't deny it, but the reason they are not simply called Europeans anymore and why they aren't European in a direct cultural sense comes down to ethnogenesis, history, and identity transformation. Here's a thorough explanation. Okay. So you got to be careful when we start to use like agent talk, when we okay agent talk when we start to call white people all white people Europeans. Be careful because when you call all white people Europeans, you're right there to call all black people African. Okay. So calling white Americans Europeans, you're undermining their ethnogenesis, therefore setting the stage for your ethnogenesis to be undermined and you be simply called African. So respect everybody ethnogenesis. Ethnogenesis is real. It happens. Okay, so they are ethnically distinct from modern Europeans. We're talking about they, the they here, the pronoun was already established. White Americans. So over generations, white Americans formed a new ethnic identity separate from their European ancestors. And none of these tethers, none of these Afrocentrics go to white people and say, no, you're actually Irish or German. No, like you, they call them white people. So people cherry pick. All right, let's get into it. So white Americans, they speak American English, not Italian, German, or Polish. They were shaped by American laws, culture, wars, geography, and values. Many have mixed ancestry, like us, from several European nations. Okay. Most have never been to Europe and identify as American first. God damn, that's a drop the mic. This is why they're not Europeans. Okay. So European immigration happened generations ago. Large-scale white immigrations from Europe peaked between the 1700s and early 1900s. Over time, European ethnic groups, Italians, Germans, Poles, etc., were absorbed into a general white American category. These groups assimilated and let go of their original languages, religions, and customs in favor of whiteness and Americanization. Many white Americans today can't trace their heritage to a specific European country. That sounds like us. Or they don't identify with it in any meaningful way. So now, family, we got to be careful to not let these chatler groups assimilate into our culture and then be coupled into our ethnogenesis some generations down the road. That's why they're mad, because we're dividing it now. Because a lot of them would be here, let's say 100, 200 years later, and they're going to say, hey, man, we've been like the tethers that come in my chat. Hey, we've been who are afraid to say where they're from, want to disregard their uh, island countries and African countries. They want to just be American. So they're trying to assimilate. They're trying to cosplay. So generations down, their kids can be incorporated or assimilated into an FBA. Well, it's not really FBA, but because FBA, that F, that's foundational. It kind of kills it. And that's why that was clever. That F stops them from ever claiming our ethnogenesis because they still wouldn't be able to trace somebody back to the foundation of this country. So that's why they're mad at F, and that's why they're mad at delineation. They can't assimilate. We're cutting the line, not allowing them to assimilate. We're protecting, we're gatekeeping the lineage. But at that point, the lineage is already gatekept. We're gatekeeping our culture, right? Our ethnogenesis. But the lineage is its own gatekeeper. You can't trace an ancestor, it's a wrap. So they created whiteness in America, and Europe white was not a central identity. People identify as Irish, French, English, etc. But in the United States, racial systems forced all Europeans into a broad white category in contrast to Native Americans, Black people, and others. Same day peace. Hey, let me know how my microphone sound if I sound too muffled, because I got a janky microphone. So white in America isn't just skin color, just like Black in America. It's a power category that evolved separately from Europe. So now let's put ourselves there. So Black in America isn't just skin color. It's a power category that evolved separately from Africa. And that's what I told that African American guy, Unc West. He was trying to act like Black is, we refer to skin color. So no, we don't. We refer to it as an experience. Okay, so modern Europe has changed too. Europe itself is no longer a monoculture of white people. It is increasingly multiracial, multilingual, and post-colonial. Modern Europeans may not identify with American-style whiteness, and many white Americans wouldn't culturally fit in Europe. Cultural disconnect, even when some white Americans claim Irish, Italian, or German ancestry, they often know little or nothing about the language, customs, or history of those places. Sounds like these African Americans over here. Okay, their culture is based on fast food, Protestantism, or evangelicalism, American capitalism, and rugged individual, not medieval European traditions. All right. Yeah, I'll pin the number in a second. I want to buy bottom right now. I got a lot of tabs. Once you see what I got here, see all those tabs? And this is a PDF, and that's one screen. See those tabs over there? So I got hella tabs, two screens. I don't want to be bothered right now. I'm cooking. I'm giving y'all the origin of plebiscite babbling. You can call in later, maybe hour or two from now. But I got a lot to cover. And I don't want to be distracted by somebody mad that I'm uncovering their white supremacist rhetoric. All right. So this is summary. Point. Ethnogenesis, white Americans have formed a distinct ethnicity over centuries. Time removed, most descended from 19th century immigration or earlier. Cultural shift, their culture, politics, and identity as American, not European. Construct of whiteness, white is a uniquely American racial identity, not a European one. Assimilation, they gave up European roots to gain full access to American whiteness. Now, we didn't, when Africa sold us, they gave up our African roots. Okay, family, I want y'all to repeat that when y'all talk to these tethers and Afrocentrics. When they sold us, they gave up our African roots. And then our ethnogenesis did the rest. Okay, so that's it on that right there. Love, joy. That's right. So like the channel, hit the like button, get it, you know what I mean? Go ahead and do that. Okay. So that's a quick summary from ChatGPT, quick breakdown. Now let's get into it. the origins of the sovereign citizen movement. All right, so I'm gonna give you
to be a sovereign citizen.
so I'm gonna give it to you from now. I got my own research, but I want you to hear it from a DUI lawyer. Right, he's a DUI lawyer that run into sovereign citizens, man. Trying to defend them from a DUI. They want to represent themselves. Plus, he's sitting in court. So his chat asked him to, hey, why don't you explain to us what a sovereign citizen is? Because he's a legal guy, right? Lawyer.
Because we all know. So full disclosure, I had to do a lot of research because we all know the basic precept of what it means to be a sovereign citizen, but nobody really knows what it means because everybody seems to have their own definition, whatever works for that particular sect in this area and whatever works for another particular sect in another area. So there's a lot of confusion as to what it is, but there seems to be a general theme that kind of is covered by all the definitions. So let's start with, what is it? Wikipedia, I believe, defines it as a sovereign citizen is a member of a political movement of people who oppose taxation, question the legitimacy of government, and believe that they're not subject to United States law. So my first thought, as soon as I read that, I was like, isn't that the definition of an anarchist? Maybe, maybe not. I need to research some more. There was a quote, sovereign citizens may not respect police officers' authority, or cops' authority, I think it was the original quote. So that already implies that they are not seeing the United States government as somebody that can, they do not have to follow their laws. Whatever laws that the United States has, they did not agree upon, and they don't have to follow them. Again, it's starting to smell like anarchy. That's the only thing that I was going through my mind in the early stages of my research, but let's continue. So how popular is it? It started in the 1960s, which we'll get to in a moment, but they become more and more popular because of the internet. The government obviously doesn't like them, naturally. I was not expecting anything short of that. Even the FBI classifies some, not all, but some sovereign citizen extremists, as they call them, as domestic terrorists. Again, that's not a title that you want to have, but it makes sense that the government would label them as such because they're going against the government. Hello.
Don't forget, they're going against the federal government, all right? The national government, these sovereign citizens.
In 2010, the Southern Poverty Law Center estimated there are about 100,000 Americans who are hardcore sovereign believers.
He's talking about white people. So 1960, there are no more at this time talking about I can travel without a license, right? They don't exist.
Another 200,000 just testing out what they can do to get away from speeding tickets,
Carlos.
Drug possession, stuff like that. They were perceived as a threat back in 06 and 07. They were about number 7 on the list, I think the FBI list or whatever, as a perceived threat. In 2013 to 14, they became number 1. So again, it doesn't bode well so far for our sovereign citizen folk, at least in the sense that they are trying.
So let me stop that right there and give you some of this.
Treat a reading dysfunction? Do you have problems putting your words in a colostomy bag? That's why I've cremated this new program called Book on Phonics. I'll teach you how to testiculate my way. To computate how it works, I will intersex with a perverted deviant by using one of my own penile implants. Masticate the sentence. C. Dick. Angina. Angina. You know what Jina is, don't you? You see, you're conjectulating your verbs and reaming your fibula. Impeach me.
Impeach me.
Dick, at last, you emasculated pace and accelerating at a promiscuous rate.
Hey, man, that ain't what that says.
Shut up. Suppress your defecation.
Hey, yo, this is exactly.
See, reading is
Listen, that's exactly how they sound in court. All right, and when they talking on their Ustream. All right, so I'm gonna replay what the brother Derek sent me yesterday. All right, actually starting now. No. Okay, So,
I don't go anywhere
all right.
without this. This is my
So I'm gonna show you their leader. So now these are the sovereign citizens. Now look how bogus this garbage is. That they got our folks trapped believing stupid shit like this. So instead of getting on code and doing what they got to do, they over here spitting this mumble jumble. And this really appeals to tethers the most because they're not really familiar with white supremacy and Jim Crow laws and things like that. So they think they just can talk their way around the system, right? So now look at one of their leaders. So now this is his license plate, some shit he made up. License to drive not required. Rick Martin, he's a constitutional lawyer. Yeah, he didn't even spell constitutional right. Look at this. What the hell I say?
I don't go anywhere without this. This is my traffic book right here. And if you read down below.
Now this dude got no teeth. The bottom is lit, dark as hell. He smoked meth all day long. But look at this pamphlet he got from what's that, Staples? That he put together. He couldn't even make it an official book. Go to, some of these self-published companies. This guy went to Staples and said, he don't go nowhere without this garbage. Look at it, look. Meth all day long. This their leader.
Anywhere without this. This is my traffic book right here. And if you read down below, public servant.
Now he's going to show traffic police this when they pull him over. Well, he's going to attempt to. Look, and he's going to have them fill that out or attempt to. Look at this foolishness.
Officer, it pretty much says to him, when a cop pulls me over, you're losing potato chips. But when a cop pulls me over, the first thing I do is I ask him, what's your emergency and how may I assist you? And he's going to ask for my driver's license and insurance or whatever. And I said, well, before we go there, I need you to fill this out.
Family, this crystal meth babble somehow was given to tethers, and then they start to bring that to amongst us in our communities, and we're feds and talk about this stupid shit. He said, hey, before I give you a driver license, I want you to fill this out. And you're going to see this play out in real time, by the way.
And I take that sheet of paper out of there and hand it to him. Before we can go any further, you need to fill this out. Once he reads this, it already puts him on notice that I'm not playing games.
All right, so now let's see how that plays out. All right. So hold on. Of course, my son got to use the bathroom. So give me a second. Let me play something in the background too. All right, cool.
But no parent should have to go through this. No friend should have to go through this. And this was a preventable tragedy, like you said, which makes it even worse.
She was in this country illegally. She was convicted of drunk driving in 2020, and she's still in this country in 2025. Like you said, wouldn't it make sense that if you're in this country illegally and commit a crime, you get immediately deported? What needs to change there? Is that federal or state law?
Well, a couple of things need to change there. Most of these are because of state sanctuary city policies that are allowing people to stay for political purposes because they want to encourage illegal immigration. What needs to change is what this administration is doing. Tom Homan has talked about multiple times flooding the zone, which he means is sending more ICE agents, more resources to these sanctuary cities to get rid of the most dangerous people. The other thing that the administration is doing, which they'll continue to do, is suing these sanctuary cities because they're violating the supremacy clause, because federal law is supreme to state law and state ordinances. And the final thing that I think is coming next is they're going to investigate these sanctuary cities for alien harboring, which is a federal criminal offense, because what they are doing is encouraging people to reside in this country.
I don't answer questions. Can you please fill us out before I do answer questions? I need you to fill us out. I'm private. I need you to fill us out.
What does that mean?
I'm private. I need you to fill us out first before I answer the questions.
Okay, Chris, go right here.
All right, thank you, sir. Please.
By who? The Stewarts, right?
Correct.
And you also, yeah, and a bunch of Catholics. People that were originally set up by who? The Stewarts, right?
Correct.
And you also, yeah, and a
My fault. I hate when I come back to no sound. All right, so it's a good thing y'all heard audio. All right, so I'm just prefacing. So I showed you the other guy, right? He gave the police officer a paper to fill out. Nothing happened. The only thing that happened was they bashed his windshield out. They dragged him out the car and they tased him and threw his ass in the county. Okay, right here, this one, this is their Zaddy. So this is the video that our brother Derek sent to us yesterday for me to analyze, and I debunked it on the fly. All right. Now these two. Now this is Derek leaders, but this is their leader. So Derek leader is these two guys right here, but their leader is this methed out dude right here. This is their Zaddy. So he's going to teach them how to drive or travel without a license, how to commit crimes and never be held accountable because the United States, quote unquote, don't have any jurisdiction. They're Moorish nationals. Now, as we can see, the only people to get away with this stuff are illegals. The only people are not held without anything. Like they get locked up, as you see, the DUI lady got locked up, got let go, got locked up and killed unalived two people. Right? So they are not held accountable. So I would think the illegal doctrine works. I would rather be an illegal sovereign citizen, not a Moorish sovereign citizen. So listen to their Zaddy.
Up by who? The Stewarts, right?
Correct.
And you also, yeah, and a bunch of Catholics.
Yep.
Bunch of Catholics in Louisiana.
Protestant, Catholic, mixed up.
Okay, so you got to blame the Catholics. They're going to blame the Jews. You know, they're going to redirect you to these boogeymen.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's just interesting.
Now look how their eyes be bucking when they, oh yeah, yes sir, watch.
That you know, they were doing it this old way, and you still see it. I never had thought about these amendments that way. It's like, oh, okay, I got you. The only way to really eliminate it is you got to take the power away from the state legislators.
Yes.
And forbid. So everything we're talking about is actually like illegal now, I guess is what I'm saying.
Crazy.
Like they wanted to set up like a guild, like go read what a medieval guild corporation was, and say, okay, let's all put our money in. We're going to set up a town here. We're going to run it like a guild. Like we're going to regulate immigration. We're going to start with one baker, and we're only going to have people that were.
Yeah, literally just talking. That made no sense. All right, so now let's get into the doctrine. What this meth smoking white supremacists taught them. Listen. So now they're going to be teaching other folks about this doctrine, this plebiscite doctrine.
Was the people in the South did not want to be beholden to these banks. So this
now watch how I frame this. So that white supremacist that was teaching that sovereign citizen bullshit, their whole angle is to justify white supremacy, Confederacy, and Jim Crow. So their thing is to say how the government is no good. The federal government is no good. The national is no good. States need their state rights back. right? They need their states' right back to have full autonomy where they can deny people rights, institute Jim Crow, and the federal government should stay out of their business. So now these guys are going to literally side with the South when it comes to warring with the North. They're going to blame the North. They learned this from their white supremacist meth dealer, smoker master. Listen to this. This is sad. And they're going to condemn the 14th Amendment.
The people in the South did not want to be beholden to these banks. So this is proof right here on congressional record that they bucked against the 14th Amendment. Now, the reason why they bucked against the 14th Amendment has to do with something called the incorporation doctrine. Okay. So when they created the 14th Amendment, all right, it took away your state's rights and it made you went from a state citizen that operated under the Constitution to a federal citizen that operated under maritime law through commerce clauses and codes. So was the people in the South did not want to be beholden to these banks. So
so the people of the South did not want to be beholden to these banks up north. So this is why they bucked against the 14th Amendment. So the 14th Amendment is bad, right? So the white supremacists got them reciting this. Listen to this.
Okay, so this is telling you that the 14th Amendment incorporated certain Bill of Rights, but not.
Let's take it to the beginning. How should I mean to that? I just want this 1 minute clip.
So this is telling you that the 14th Amendment incorporated certain Bill of Rights, but not all the Bill of Rights. So when you hear people say, hey, we're not operating under the Constitution right now, technically they are not wrong, because a federal citizen does not have the same privileges and immunities that a state citizen had, because a state citizen applied directly to the Constitution, whereas a 14th Amendment citizen has incorporated certain rights from the.
You heard that? So as state citizens, you got all the rights. Now, all these rights, you'd have no rights. What rights you had as a state citizen? Now, he made this shit up. There's no such thing as this stuff. Like, he made this shit up. Well, there's no such thing of it as the way he's explaining it. So what they do is they talk about, and this guy right over there, correct? So what they do is they talk about real terminology, real terms, real words, but then they'll misrepresent them, like he's doing right now. So he's separating state citizens from federal citizens, and he's trying to tell you that there's a difference. State citizens have more rights, and federal citizens has less constitutional rights, less Bill of Rights don't protect them, it's like a state citizen does. Okay, so he's basically saying you have a choice to be a state citizen or federal citizen, and the 14th Amendment pretty much debulls you to be a 14th Amendment citizen, and now all of a sudden you got less rights, as though the Dred Scott case didn't have it. So what kind of citizen, wasn't Dred Scott a state citizen? All right, anyway, listen to this white supremacy bull.
Bill of Rights. So what are those? This is it right here. So when you are a 14th Amendment citizen, you get full incorporation to the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the Eighth Amendment.
So what kind of citizen?
But you get partial incorporation to the Fifth and the Sixth. And then the Third and the Seventh aren't even included in your federal citizenship. Okay. So this is telling you that the 14th Amendment incorporated certain Bill of Rights, but not all the Bill of Rights. So when you hear people say, hey, we not.
Nah, he just made that up. No such thing. And don't worry, I'm going to unravel that foolishness. Let's keep going.
So Freedman Bank happens. You lose your land. You reclassify it, you lose your.
Okay, so he said, now listen, and he's revising history. The Freedom Bank had the Freedman Bank.
Freedman Bank happens. You lose your land.
Hold on. The Freedom Bank happened after the 14th Amendment, right? And I'm sorry, around that same time as the 13th Amendment. Okay, so the 14th Amendment happened, the Freedmen Bank was already sabotaged by white people who were in charge of it. It had nothing to do with amendments, just racist people sabotaging black folks out of their wealth and savings. So he just, again, this is a white guy, a meth smoker, racist person, blaming black people and blaming rights that were due, right? And justifying white supremacy and a Confederacy.
Freedmen Bank happens. You lose your land. You reclassify and you lose your indigenous status. Now, these people who are not indigenous, the system can call them whatever they want to call them. So they call them American slaves.
Oh my God, what is he talking about, man? We were called freedmen.
Now, African slaves that are now 14th Amendment citizens. A 14th Amendment citizen is a lower class citizenship than a state citizen.
You see that? He just, one more time, I paused it too early. Okay. So he just said that under the 14th Amendment, we had less rights before the 14th Amendment happened. So Dred Scott somehow got rights that a white man is bound to respect. This is psycho-meth babble. Matter of fact, this should be called meth babble.
Is a lower class citizenship than a state citizen. This is why they got rid of state banks. Okay, I'm trying to make sure y'all follow us here. So then when you become a 14th Amendment citizen, you don't get all 10 of your Bill of Rights that come from the Constitution.
Making this up.
You get a certain subset that they created. Now, this is from Cornell Law. This ain't homeboy with the news.
You hear that? This is from Cornell Law. He didn't read anything from here. He just talks. So family, that's another trick. Another trick is they'll hold up a credible paper, article, website, but they won't read it. They'll just give you their twisted understanding.
Speaking. This is from Cornell Law. So if you want to debate, you go debate them. So they're telling you right now which of the Bill of Rights were incorporated into 14th Amendment citizenship. But they,
and as we're going to read, the Bill of Rights didn't apply to states. It only applied to the federal national government. After the 14th Amendment, now the Bill of Rights applied to the states, and the state, and showing that they were unconstitutional if they practiced what they were practicing before the 13th and 14th Amendment. They were going to be held accountable, all right, if they violated our laws. Continue.
But when they created the 14th Amendment citizenship, people became persons.
Oh my God.
Person is corporate.
Wait, we back it up. People became persons. T1.
But when they created the 14th Amendment citizenship, people became persons. A person is corporate fiction. Now you'll hear people out here saying sovereign citizen and all this. You can't.
I think it was Plato, Plato, who stuck to the wall when he said one must put his transvestite in jeopardy if one wants to become a cunning linguist.
You trying to tell me this guy doesn't sound like that?
Can't be a sovereign citizen because those two don't go together.
Okay, yeah, just figure that out. So here the thing is, family, when they get debunked, they use our debunking talking points to debunk themselves and say, hey, don't call this anymore. Yeah, but you thought it did go together until we called it out and say, hey, you can't be sovereign and a citizen. Sovereign to you've got to be of the United States and down to our jurisdiction, our government jurisdiction and state, jurisdiction. You can't be sovereign and also be a citizen of the United States. So now when they heard that, they went back to the drawing board and now they're trying to redefine themselves. No, we're not sovereign citizens. And now they got new goofy terminology.
What you could be is a state citizen who was usurped by federal citizenship via the 14th Amendment. So what we're trying to tell you is...
So what they're trying to tell us is that we're better off without the 14th Amendment, and we're better off in bondage.
Is that the reason why they wanted to take the land and reclassify the people is because they needed a way to bring you into 14th Amendment citizenship.
When he say take the land, he's talking about take the land of the Confederate South.
And the reason why it was never fully ratified is because the South knew this.
See?
So they didn't.
The South knew this. The South is just so clever. They said, no, we're going to secede and go to war and continue slavery. Listen.
It was never fully ratified is because the South knew this. So they did not want to play ball with this because it would have killed their whole way of life.
See?
So this is why
their whole way of life is slavery, plantation slavery.
Whole Civil War came out and the propaganda came to demonize the South and create.
So the North demonized the South. The South was doing nothing wrong when they was maintaining chattel slavery, plantation slavery. The South were the good guys. The big bad North, they came and said, hey, you got to stop this good God's work and you got to give them rights. You know, they got to be protected under the Constitution as well as you. He's saying that's horrible. This is a white supremacist doctrine, but they would tell FBA, those who claim were FBA, the lineage, they would say, we got the talking points of white supremacists. I always laugh. I say, because I can tell you exactly what you said, verbatim, word for word, of a white supremacist, but you can't tell us nothing we say, word for word, of a white supremacist verbatim. So I miss me with this, they're just talking.
This friction between white people, black people, but the whole truth of the matter is, it don't matter if you.
Okay, he about to say, the whole truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you're white or black. It's all about legalese and some other goofy shit. Okay, so now you guys know about Severe Bay. Some of you guys do. And you always say, Ron, pull up on Severe Bay. And I keep saying, like, Severe Bay ain't trying to challenge. He's not going to set no challenges. I just watched him yesterday. He had a panel, all right? And nobody got to talk. He just talked the whole time. I don't do that. I did that before, right? I was trying to get on folks' panels to debunk them. And I'm in there just waiting. Like, they just got me as a honorary. You know how some church services, they'll preach and they'll have like 2 special chairs on the stage and you could sit there where everybody can see you, but you can't say one word. Just let the sermon, let it play out. That's how they used to do me. I used to call on these folks' channels to debate them. They'll bring me up, have me in a panel. Everybody can see my name and everything, but I was on mute, had to shut up until the whole thing was over. And when it was over, like, all right, everybody, see you tomorrow. And bye-bye. Never got a chance to talk. And that's what happened with him and his panelists. Okay, now watch this. So I don't need, so now for that reason, I don't need to keep chasing him to debate him. All I got to do is have him agree to the same thing those other brothers had said earlier, like that 14th Amendment about state citizenship versus federal citizenship. If he agrees to that, I just cook the doctrine and they all fall together. Listen to this. So I wrote them. I set them up. This is yesterday.
Purchase those things right here.
Okay, so this is yesterday. I set them up. Look, I said, Sabir, can you talk about the 14th Amendment was created? That is, I can't read it.
Those things right here.
Took away our state rights.
Email me at sabirbayradio@gmail.com. This is the federal constitution.
Okay, now family, you got to stop being foolish. The lineage, I'm talking to the lineage. You guys let somebody hold up books, and that's enough to, you believe he read these books. Like, y'all got to stop being that damn gullible, man. Oh, Severe Bay, he's so studied. When he talks, you don't hear 1 ounce of education on his tongue. All the books he's read, you don't hear that play out at all. Like, you would know a real study, a real researcher, because when they talk, you will hear the education. When you watch this guy live, what is he saying that really convinces you he read books? All he does is just collect books like people collect dolls and toy cars.
This is the state constitution. Federal, state. Federal, state.
See, he fell for it. So I just want him to admit that he goes with the state citizenship with the federal citizenship. So I just debunked that. You're done.
Federal, state. Pick your poison. So, yeah, go purchase the books. Email me at sabirbayradio@gmail.com. Are you ready to rock with me?
And the books cost $60. That's not going to happen. All right. So now Dr. Claude Anderson warned us about why Confederate sympathizers, why white supremacists, alt-right, right-wing extremists, why they are anti-national and federal government. Okay, it's your fault you didn't listen to this. It's your fault.
And skinhead, baldhead, all kind of groups that are organizing.
Now he's talking about white supremacists, skinhead, bald. He's talking about white supremacist groups, militia, white, the Proud Boys, people like that.
And optimistically
Diamond.
expecting and anticipating a major clash in this country between blacks and whites. We've had 28 states in the United States now to pass concealed weapons laws. That's specifically so some of the white contingency groups can carry weapons and arms at all times. That's why you have such a major thrust from the National Rifle Association. That's why they're controlling most of your politicians. That's why you have such a major anti-governmental effort in this country.
That's why you have a major anti-governmental issue in this country. And look at the audience he's speaking about. He's speaking about the white supremacist militia groups, the extreme folks. That's very dangerous, right? The sovereign citizen. You heard they were #1 on the terrorist group, domestic terrorist list in America. So, but he's letting you know, like, yo, these folks are dangerous and they are anti-federal and national government. And he's going to tell you why. And then we're going to read about it.
You hear people, that's why you have such a major anti-governmental effort in this country. You hear people say, we want to go back to states' rights. We're anti-government. We want to get rid of the federal government. It's not that they're against government.
Listen.
They know that in history, the only people who've ever saved black folk has been the government, twice, the federal government.
Listen.
And if you eliminate the federal government by downsizing the government, black folk no longer have an ally.
Yeah, we don't have an ally. So the federal government is what instituted the 14th Amendment and made that racist treatment that white folks were doing against us on those plantations and other states, across the country. It made it unconstitutional. It made it illegal. They're violating our state and federal rights, our constitutional rights. And it made them adhere to the Bill of Rights. Watch this.
And if a clash occurs, you got nobody to come to the rescue a third time to help you. You see, you were pulled out of slavery by the federal government. You were pulled out of Jim Crowism by the federal government.
But that's why they don't want that 14th Amendment for you. It has nothing to do with illegals. That's birthright citizenship. That's something different. That's talking about being born in this country from illegal, undocumented parents. That's totally different from us. And so that birthright citizenship talk that Donald Trump is doing, that's about immigrants. That got nothing, and illegal at that. That has nothing to do with folks under the 14th Amendment and were emancipated from enslavement.
There are contingencies in the country that says the next time there won't be a federal government to pull blacks out.
See, so these white supremacists, alt-right folks, they know that the only entity that's in between them outright attacking us, being racial, passing unconstitutional laws, is the federal government, the national government. So they're like, man, they're in the way. We need to get them out the way. So you start to hear anti-government talk, a lot of conspiracy theories. So when the federal government regulate a business, food, it could be the airport. The conspiracy theories come from them. Oh no, this happened. Oh, they trying to kill you, and you guys fall right in line and bleed this shit. It's coming from your open enemy. They're trying to get you to go against it so it can weaken. And now, here we come. All right, let's keep going. So I already talked about this. Right. So this illegal, undocumented immigrant, she is the real sovereign citizen that's immune to consequences. All right, Forlane said, you got to think of this country as a franchise like McDonald's. You own your own restaurant, but you got to follow certain protocols to remain incorporated. Exactly. Because each state is like mini figurative countries, and the governors act as the president. They have their own constitution. Shit, they might even got their own Congress, but they have a lot of things that mimic what the country has as a unified force, unified states, United States. All right, so let me see if I have.
Like Vanna White. Now, hermaphrodite, try it again. C.
C.
Jane.
Jane. C. Jane's big breastises.
That's it. Now you're
That's it.
expectorating your sphincter
So what I'm
way.
playing is.
I got to have him in the big breast. I got to have him in the big breast.
Hold on.
All right, so what I'm playing is this is how it sounds when a methed out white supremacist is teaching one of us. So Damon Wayans is the white supremacist methed out person, and David Allen Greer is one of us, or Tether, listening to this foolishness and taking notes. It's like, wow, this is deep. All right, let's get that out the way. Okay, so now let me go here with this. Let me go right here. Just briefly. Just brief. She's Nigerian, by the way.
Only community. If it was a black only community, would we raise all these kind of concerns? Maybe not. But the reason is because when it comes to a group of people coming together and forming a community, is definitely the extremist of that group of people. If white people come together to form a community, it's the extreme white people, like the ones that don't want anything to stay in their white. If black people come together to form a community, it's the extreme black people, like people that don't want any other thing other than black, period. So what do we call this? If you're extreme, if you don't want any other thing other than your color, your religion, your thing, that we can call you tribal, we can call you racist, we can call you all kind of stuff, like based on whatever your belief is. So like I said earlier, I do not have a problem with white people forming a white community.
There you go. She don't have a problem with it. So Tariq is doing it live later, like 12 o'clock, addressing that, or premiere. I'll watch it later. Like I normally do. I'll catch it later. But you heard that? See, that's what happens. So you can make remarks like that when you don't know about our history. When you're unfamiliar with the slave legacy, Jim Crow, peonage system, farming, sharecropping, all that type of stuff, the railroad working, all that hard work you did for free, under duress and violence, or very, very pennies, you know. But you could have that assessment because she never experienced the KKK. She never experienced Mississippi burning. Okay, she never experienced 100 years of lynching. For whites only. So for her, she could make that assessment and say, hey, I don't have an issue with an all-white town because an all-white town doesn't, to her, give lynching vibes, give discrimination vibes, give burning a cross on your front lawn vibes, okay? Blowing up churches where school kids are at, FBA school kids. So it doesn't resonate with her. And that's why we're delineating. We don't want them to speak for us, speak to us, speak about us. Here you are.
Very, very.
Okay, so she's talking about when she went back to Nigeria. Listen to this shit. But you guys be acting like Tariq. She is lying and capping. Okay, she's Nigerian. She speaks to Nigerians. She speaks to other tethers. And she's going to give her experience when she went back to Nigeria.
Anybody watch my video about 5 things I'm looking up to? That madness is one of it. Because the way we're walking on the street here like zombie, it's like smile is programmed. I don't know if anybody has noticed that people will smile, they just be like.
So she's saying like Nigerians, when you go back, they give you a fake little smile and they keep it moving.
They're done smiling. Like really, it looks like it was a 1 second smile and that's it. Never came from their heart. If you don't want to smile, you don't have to smile. I'm tired of that fake life. I'm tired of that. So they were now saying, I saw some comments under that guy's video. Some people say Nigeria is like a mad it's like a mad camp, this and that. It's so disorganized. What are you expecting? Are you expecting an organized system? It's a
So she's admitting Nigeria is very disorganized, just chaos around the country.
What are you expecting? Are you expecting an organized system? It's a disorganized system. We know that everybody is just doing what they want to do. Everybody is just, you finish drinking, you find your goal, you throw it on the floor.
When you finish eating and drinking, you just litter. You just throw it on the floor. Okay, throw it on the floor. But look what else they do on the floor.
Nobody is picking anybody for peeing by the road.
So Tariq wasn't lying when he said the road is literally their bathroom. They just, whenever they're walking and talking, hold on one second, sir, I got to do a number two, and just pull their pants down and just go. Hold on, I got to do a number one, sir, ma'am. They just do it right there on the side of the road.
I mean, nobody is picking anybody for peeing by the road.
JJ.
I mean, those are things that we left. So you're expecting that by the time you get there, it would have looked like London. I don't know what some people are expecting.
So basically, she thought, hey, I thought we left this. Why am I coming home to Nigeria and we're still doing the same degenerate things, uncivilized practices, primitive practices when I come back 20, 30 years later? Well, ma'am, because your elite class keep leaving, and you keep leaving behind your degenerate class to run the country in full corruption and primitive behavior. Real simple for me. All right. So real quickly, I'm going to go to Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and then back to the topic. Okay, so this is Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens.
It's sort of this recognition that we live in a heavily racial world. And, look, sometimes we have racist feelings like I want to live in a white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in a black neighborhood. If they were all like you, obviously it'd be a different story. But when we think of a black neighborhood, we know what that means and why the property value.
But that's
cheap.
Black American. So this is why I want to understand this idea better, because, and this is kind of something my cousin has said, which I guess you could say is a racist statement, but she says that white people in America are the white trash of white people in the world, meaning that like there's a special category of uniquely that you don't see when you're dealing with like white Americans here, that if you went across to just, like Switzerland, you wouldn't see this version of a white person necessarily, or this, you maybe went to the continent of Africa, you don't see this version of a black person either. Like even if you went to to the tribes out in Africa that still exist, they would be a far cry from a black American living in a neighborhood in Compton, right? So I'm trying to understand if you think that it's all black people are like this, or if your world is kind of colored by this is what's going on in America. This has failed for 1,000 reasons. Welfarism has definitely, black people in 1940s stand up. My grandfather, I talk about that denigration and the corrosion of culture. Yeah. That's happening. White, black, whatever you want to name it. There is this intentional corrosion of culture.
So that's another talking point. And this is you could throw this into plebiscite babbling. A lot of Afrocentrics use this talking point. Welfare is not the bad guy. All right. The bad guy is to discriminate who get welfare and who doesn't. So when she said 1940, ain't nobody black was getting welfare. That was the ADC, the AFDC, that was made for struggling white women, widows, single mom, welfare queens. That was for them. Jim Crow was legal. Discrimination was legal. Remember state citizen, that dumb sovereign citizen talked about, that Moorish guy? That was legal. So the federal passed programs and get money for programs and say, hey, this is for everybody. But they knew when the state, because they would leave it to the state to regulate it. And the federal government knew the states were racist, the Jim Crow states. So of course they're going to funnel it in their societies and withhold it from black communities. And a few of us in between went around some stuff and probably got access to it, because don't forget, white supremacy, systemic racism is not designed to make every last white person successful. It's not designed to make every last black person unsuccessful, FBA unsuccessful. It's designed to cast a net out there and grab as many as possible whites to be successful and many as possible FBAs to be unsuccessful. Now, some of us are going to fall out the net. So don't forget, systemic racism is a net.
So do you think it's literally, well, this is just what a
FBA
black
Ronnie.
person is when they come out? Or do you think that post welfare, LBJ, Great Society, this is what Black Americans have become, and I have a right
So they blame the programs that help them out, that help build the middle class, and that can help us out if we can get access to it. They blame so basically what helped them level up and stand afloat after the Great Depression and help create this white middle class. They don't want us to have access to it, so they demonize it. And they say, hey, this is why you guys are having unwedded homes and this is going on. And it's not that. Systemic racism never left.
to respond to that and say that as a white man, I don't want to live there?
Well, I think it's more nature than people would like to believe. There's this classic tension of, is it nature?
So when he say nature, he's saying like we're born missing something. We're born, less than whites. We're not born with the smart gene. So he's like really hinting towards the whole bell curve by Charles Murray analysis, pseudo analysis.
Nature, is it nurture? Is it cultural, or is it intrinsic? Is it racial? And I've always been on the latter side of this among conservatives. Conservatives like to say it's all culture. Black America is the way it is because of hip hop music and the Great Society and that kind of stuff.
And they equate systemic racism. So it's just what we do amongst ourselves. But systemic racism doesn't exist with hip hop and whatever we're doing. Systemic racism is not there. It's absent.
And I think the uncomfortable reality is a big part of it is intrinsic. One of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s is that, when Europeans colonized Africa, they hadn't discovered the wheel. There's no two-story buildings. There's no writing. There's no written language. Missionaries had to go to Africa in the last century and invent it for the African people because there's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
So Egypt is not in Africa.
Well, Egypt is a different race. The Egyptians were not black.
Okay, but you said when they went to Africa, so I just want to...
The interior of Africa in the late 19th century, scrambled for Africa.
So we're now knocking Egypt out of Africa.
Well, Egypt is part of northern Africa, sub-Saharan Africa.
You said Africa, so I'm...
She got him, and he sound like a fool. He's plebiscite babbling. This is Zaddy. They learned it from Zaddy. So he's doing exactly what Oswald Bates was doing in that Living Color skit. See, the Aretha Franklinism in my heart lets me provide the nutrition, right? And then from that, the fruition back to manumission. Like, they'll stop.
But it's not. I'm not trying to get a gotcha. I'm just responding. You're saying Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
It's in Africa. It's Egypt. It's kind of ridiculous to say there was no written language. Well, so I'm just trying to get you to
sure. Egyptians are not Africans.
If I'm not pushing back, the internet will.
Well, hold on. He just said they were North African. Now they're not African. This guy is crazy.
It's trying to get you to
sure. Egyptians are not Africans.
If I'm not pushing back, the internet will. So
Egyptians are not racial Africans. When I say
so she's explaining. She's playing like I'm only pushing back. Now, when it comes to like Cornel West, somebody, she don't give an apology to push back. She don't, preface, hey, I'm pushing back because she just gives her rhetoric, wolf barking, hatred, bad faith arguments.
African, I'm saying sub-Saharan Africans.
Sub-Saharan, okay.
Black people because it is a different race. In sub-Saharan Africa, and Europeans did not penetrate that until late 19th century. They didn't have any of this. To the extent that you have infrastructure in Africa, it's from the Muslims in the Sahel and the Maghreb in northern Africa, where the Arabs colonized. And then
so I'm just done with him right now. It's a whole bunch of BS. So that, family, I gotta do, let me see. Okay, here we are. So this is an average Afrocentric take. This is an average tether take. Listen. So get used to like the different plebiscite babbles.
This message is going to sting because it's the truth that most of you try to hide away from. This brother is calling every single one of you with no excuses or hiding. So if you call yourself a protector and you love and care about this community, I want you to hear every single word he's saying. So grab a seat, make yourself comfortable, and let's play the clips.
Black men are the only ones that can initiate the healing for the entire.
So now this is what she's gonna do is look. This is what she's gonna do. What she's gonna do is she's gonna play a video of a supposed FBA person blaming FBA. So when he says black men trust me, that he's talking about FBA. So this is what they do. They blame us for why the world just sucks. It's all right. Now tethers can disrespect us outright. They make up excuses all day long. But when it comes to us, they will blame us or allow us to blame each other without any interruption, any objections. Listen.
Let's play the clips.
Black men are the only ones that can initiate the healing for the entire black community. When will we take accountability and responsibility for the things that we allow to happen?
So we allow it to happen. We're cowards. We don't have any accountability, responsibility. We're just degenerates. Go ahead.
In this community, we are the leaders and protectors of this community.
But we're failing,
yet we sit up here and allow things to take place that should never take place. Have you brothers not seen the viral video upon viral video upon viral video of countless and multiple black women, countless of our sisters being slammed on their head by racist police, by these European men being confronted?
And look at her. She's like, yes, niggas, it's your fault.
And disrespected all in their face. Got these European men spitting and disrespecting them all in their face. Videos of it. Why is there not brothers going around state to state looking for these individuals that are doing that? Why is
you
it?
See, so, and then they try to redirect us to only focus on white supremacy as though white supremacy does not have allies, as though some of the allies are not tethers. So again, family, when I hear the term white supremacy, I don't think of white people alone. I think of white people and their allies. Okay, and a lot of allies are tethers. So I look at all of them together when I hear white supremacy. So, but they try to redirect us from them hating and undermining us, and just focus only on when white folks do it. That's out. That's out. We're on code. No. We're holding you guys accountable, and you guys going to be responsible.
And if God don't never give up, it's always
so real. And I can't help but agree with him. Our community can't keep waiting for someone else to come and save us.
Our community. Here they go anchoring.
We need to step up for ourselves. We need to be the ones to protect our women.
So niggas, go out there, katas, and go do what you do. Go hold the line and pass laws to protect tethers. And while we in the back take advantage of everything that's being passed and make sure it's all funneled to us primarily, and we ain't splitting shit. We ain't taking a small percentage. Nah, we taking it all.
Guide our youths and standing together as one. Because the truth is, no one else is going to do that for us.
Like her, this is just disrespect. And this is in 2025.
And that message reminded me of what happened to Jada. I hope you all remember her, the black woman who was jammed by two Latino men over a parking spot in.
Okay, so enough of that. But like I said, they want us to just ignore and look past all of their hatred and undermining and sabotaging that they're doing with us, and look at just white racist, alt-right, Nick Fuentes people, and allow them to keep undermining us until we're totally replaced by them. In 2025, like, sick lost her damn mind. So now, she wants us to ignore this right here. Hold on, there we go. So we're gonna ignore this and just look, and Afrocentrics, come on here. Her uncle says, I don't have a problem with them scamming, stealing your reparations checks. At first, he tried to lie and say it was government. So I was like, bro, government naming it. The government is not on that check. I said, once he write the check off, our name is on that check. That's not stealing from the government. That's stealing from us. Oh, yeah, well, it's whatever, man. Why you hating? I said, so they could just take my money? I said, I'm taking your money. How you say, nah, go ahead. I need permission to siphon out Ron's reparation check. It's set aside. How do you do that? But again, Afrocentric and Tethers, man, they're one.
Us black folks and division amongst us, but she's really showcasing her disdain for us and her being big mad that
African in the trenches, because we Africans in the trenches. And when I say black, I mean
so we're gonna ignore this right here and look at Nick Fuentes.
in African Americans, Africans, Caribbean, blackness as a whole. This is why we will remain in the trenches, because we have so much division in us. It is ridiculous. I've been seeing a lot of videos talking about Essence Festival and how African Americans are boycotting it and how it's flopping because it's now owned by Africans, because there is no African American, there is not enough African American representation. And the way they're talking about African, how condescending they talk about African, or how Africans are the artists, how African artists are invited, how African. We are never getting out of the trenches. You see our people from the Caucasus Mountain, they will continue to do better.
You see that? Always the Caucasus Mountain, all this crazy plebiscite babble talk, the Yakub's grafted devil, those Europeans, and all those funny words y'all give them. Stop. It's powerless.
Than us, because we are very unserious. Us as a race, as a nation, as an ethnicity, we are.
Oh no, you messed up. You don't share our ethnicity. You're not of the lineage.
Very unwell. There's something they did a number on our head that we would rather crumble individually than unite and do something marvelous. No.
Oh, we are definitely uniting and doing something marvelous. And that marvelous thing under this unification banner is called delineating. That's something very marvelous.
There's always a division. Oh, these people are Caribbean. Oh, these people are African Americans. Oh, these people are African. Meanwhile, you're looking at the same shade of black. But now when it comes to white folks, you can hear, oh, this person is wrong.
Told you. And they always bring it back to skin color. Like, yeah, we are so past that. Like, she's stuck in the 1960s, that whole skin tone. The white man, the black man. We're so past that.
Russian. Oh, this person is from UK. Oh no, this person is from Ukraine. No, we don't hear that shit when it comes to white folks. But when it comes to black people, we have different shades of black. And so divided, it is nauseating. We are unserious people. No, we're not serious. We will remain mentally enslaved.
Boy, she big mad. I mean, all the smoke in the world for freedmen, but not nearly as much for those who've taken over her homeland. Now, let me say this. Calling out disrespect or speaking truth to power.
They always do that. They say, hey, man, this division got to stop. And then when they give an example of division, it's one-sided. It's FBA's causing the division. Every time. I wait to hear, like, them hold themselves responsible. Never happens. Hold themselves accountable. Never happens. All right, so let's see what I got here. Okay, how about this one?
U.S. plans to deport individuals inside the country who are believed to have connections to a Haitian gang, even if they have legal status. As the crisis in Haiti deepens, the U.S. response is shifting with the focus on immigration enforcement at home. The State Department designated a group known as Viv Assam as a foreign terrorist organization, saying it's fueling violence and instability across Haiti. And according to officials, their influence extends into U.S. communities. The State Department says even lawful permanent residents suspected of working with Haitian gangs could now be removed under immigration law.
Right.
The move comes as gang violence in Haiti reaches a breaking point. The United Nations reports that armed groups now control 85% of Port-au-Prince. More than 1.3 million Haitians have been displaced, the highest number in the nation's modern history. Food is scarce, security is collapsing, and the violence is spreading to new regions. Since October of last year, nearly 5,000 Haitians have been killed, with hundreds more kidnapped, injured, or trafficked.
Damn, they still kidnapping and trafficking, and they got the nerve to call us nigga. They got the nerve to say we're causing division. All right, and we know that's mere projection. Okay. Oh, so I didn't see this one yet. So apparently, some Chinese tether disrespected I show speed. I don't know if I show speed nationality, his ethnicity, but here we are.
What? I'm racist. You're racist? Yes. I'm a killer. I'm so sorry about that. But I love your girlfriend because your girlfriend is white people. I love her.
This little coon. She said, I hate you niggas, but I love your girlfriend because your girlfriend is white.
What? Yes, that's true. I'm so sorry about that. Because
All right, welcome back to another video.
There you go, family. We crash out. The tether crash out. Okay. All right. Let's go here now.
Assalamu alaikum. It's Sister Samila.
I'm not done with the origins of Plebiscite Babble. Well, I'm a cook. I'm gonna read and kill it. All right.
Let's gather in for a real, unfiltered conversation because sometimes love means giving the truth, even when it stings a little. Today, I want to address my immigrant brothers and sisters who now call America home. Many of you arrived here with hopes, dreams, and the drive to make a better life. And I want you to know nobody with sense is against that dream. But we need to talk about humility, gratitude, and spiritual clarity, because too often I see a spirit of pride and comparison that, if left unchecked, will bring hardship, not blessings. Let's keep it 100. This land you now find opportunity in, the freedoms you access, the rights you enjoy. These things were not handed out freely. They were bought with centuries of struggle, sacrifice, and relentless faith from.
But they don't believe that. They believe it was Catholic or Protestant missionaries that just loved them so much and seen the beauty, the intellect in them and said, hey, you can help build this country.
Foundational Black Americans. FBA ancestors were dragged here in chains, survived generations of terror.
No. Let's see. That's some slick talk there. That's the Afrocentric shit. We're not going to skip the fact that we were sold by Africans. And once they sold us, family, they sold our birthright. They sold our claim to Africa. They sold it to the Europeans. All right. And those Europeans planted that, sold it in the ground. So they went from sold, S-O-L-D, to S-O-W. And that was planted in American soil. We built this thing, and there you go. So let me do a little correction on the origins of what she's speaking about.
Terror and faced violence and systemic oppression so extreme, many didn't live to see freedom. Yet they fought. They changed laws. They demanded dignity. Every open door you see is a door that was battered down by those who came before you. Family, this is not bitterness. This is historical fact. When you come to a new land, it's only right to learn the story of that land. When you walk into a house, you don't criticize the carpet before you thank the builders. So when some immigrants land in America and immediately start boasting about their success, we bought a house, we built a business,
and then wave that funky flag. Start bragging about the success, and then have that funky flag in their hand or home. It's like, yo, you fled that flag. It should be illegal to bring that flag over here. You fled that flag.
business, we send money home, we do better than the people who were born here. That's not just arrogance, that's spiritual blindness. The Quran teaches, and Allah does not like everyone self-deluded and boastful in Quran 436. Humility is a command, not a suggestion. Before you judge FBAs, ask yourself what pain, what price, what policy had to be broken for you to even get your visa, your job, or your education. It's not just a system you benefited from, it's a path cleared by blood, sweat, and faith.
And I'm going to end that one right there. You said enough, sister. Well done. All right. So let's go let's do DJ Khaled and another one. All right. So what is this right here? Last update, and we'll get to. Oh, did y'all see that? Nah. Hold on.
They support the channel or is have to do to deal with those problems.
Let me see. This is it. Okay, right here. Right over here.
But what else Africa? For you page on TikTok, a friend.
Whole foundational Black American conversation, what's the problem? I see my African brothers and sisters getting very offended by this, but
Okay, she's Ethiopian, by the way.
I am struggling to understand why, because there is a difference. For example, our ancestors didn't build this bitch. Our ancestors weren't the ones who fought for equality for everyone in this country so that we could immigrate here. Our moms, our dads, our grandparents. Oh, not to mention a lot of those fathers and mothers and grandparents and aunties are racist as hell. Like unambiguously anti-Black. Racist as all hell.
So please get me to understand this. If what she's saying is true, how are they different from a white supremacist?
My sisters and moms who fought for equality for everyone in this country so that we could immigrate here. Our moms, our dads, our grandparents. Oh, not to mention a lot of those fathers and mothers and grandparents and aunties are racist as hell. Like unambiguously anti-Black. Racist as all hell.
Sandra.
My sisters and I had to beat that shit out of our Ethiopian parents with the quickness. But I
see, racist as hell, but you're telling me that we're the people that's like white supremacists. Yeah, come on, man. That doesn't work. You're not going to trick us out of our spot.
can't deny that it was there. We are African Americans in the most literal way one can be. And they are Black Americans, built into the foundation of this country. So foundational Black American, I don't understand what the problem is. How does that negatively impact us? I can't think of one time that my Ethiopian American ass has been subjugated due to a Black American calling themselves foundational. I don't get it.
Hey, was she cooking or what? I mean, so they played dumb, man. They played dumb. Okay, so now let's get back into the subject. I took a little breather. Okay, let's see if I can make this bigger. Shit. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see if I can do this way then. Okay, all right, I got it. Nah, don't go that way. Okay, I still got it, I think.
Daddy?
Yes. Hmm? Tell me now before I start reading. If I gotta do a commercial break, bring you to the bathroom. What you want? Okay, so family. This video is called officially The Origins of Plebiscite Babbling. And I parentheses I got white Zaddy. So I'm giving y'all the answer. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Now I'm going to break down how it all started. It didn't just start with plebiscite babbling as we know it today. It started with, so we're going to go over how it all starts with the federal government, how it gains its power, how it gained its power. The more stronger it got, that's when the plebiscite babbling started. All right, so we're going to deal with number one, how the federal government started out weak, W-E-A-K, how and why it became powerful, how this growth led to anti-government conspiracy theories and movements. See, so when it was weak, when the government was weak, the states loved it because they had plantation slavery. But once it got powerful, now all of a sudden the government ain't S-H-I-T. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the early federal, so I'm gonna give y'all the history. The early federal government was extremely weak. Under the Articles of Confederation, 1781, 1789, the federal government had no power to tax, no executive branch, no president, no power to regulate trade between states or with foreign nations. couldn't raise a standing army, had to ask states for troops, required unanimous agreement to make constitutional changes. States acted more like independent nations. The result? What's the result? Hold on. The result is that the U.S. Was basically a loose alliance of sovereign states, not a real nation. Sovereign states, sovereign citizens. You catching it? So sovereign citizens were sovereign to their states. So this caused chaos, economic instability. States had different currencies. Now you know about the bank runs that led to the Great Depression. Okay. Foreign nations ignored the U.S. Jay's Rebellion, 1786, showed that the national government couldn't stop uprisings. The U.S. Constitution created a stronger federal government in 1789. The Constitution was written to fix the weakness of the articles, but at first the power of the federal government was limited. Okay, so the early 1790s and 1860s, we're getting close. Come over here, Sid. Come over here. Oh boy, I'm start crying. Come over here. You got. Come on, dude. Relax. Here, sit right here. Look at your cartoons. You hit your head. You okay? Okay, good. We'll go to the store later. See? Got to settle down. All right. Okay. So early limits, right? 1790s, 1860s. States still had control over slavery, voting, citizenship, and civil rights. States had control of that, family. States had control of slavery, voting, citizenship, and civil rights. Now you see why Dred Scott thing was overturned? Okay. So the federal government avoided interfering in state matters to maintain peace with the southern states, because they was about that rah-rah. They was ready to crash out. So even Supreme Court rulings often sided with states, like the Dred Scott. Like I just said it, look, the Dred Scott. So the federal government bowed down to racist states. And those clowns, those Morris clowns, sat there and let that meth crack that white man teach them about how the federal government is terrible, how the 14th Amendment is terrible, and how we should go back to state rights. And I'm like, well, how that make sense when the states were responsible for Dred Scott not getting his freedom? How the federal government became more powerful. Now, the transformation happened in stages. Watch this. The Civil War, family. So we have everything to do with a stronger federal government. This is why they hate the government, and this is why they hate us. You dig? Because the federal government is powerful because of us. Well, partly because of us. Okay, so a Civil War, 1861, 1865, and Reconstruction. The federal government crushed secession and proved its supremacy. Secession is when the states say, hey, we're going to leave from the Union. We're going to do our own thing, which is slavery, plantation slavery. We're going to exploit free labor and treat black folks like shit. And you guys, and we're going to deny citizenship to these free blacks and enslaved blacks. And you guys do what you want to do in the North. But leave us alone. That's called secession. So the federal government crushed their dreams, crushed their economy, crushed secession. No, come over here. You knocked your head. Come over and sit down. Get your cartoon, sit over here. Okay. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. So again, he's against these clownish. Yeah, we'll go to part when they're done. Okay, so these clownish coon Moors are against the 14th Amendment under the guide and rulership of white supremacists. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment expanded federal power to protect individual rights, family. So the 14th Amendment that these coons were against, right? It expanded the federal power to protect the people who were unprotected. So this is why they want it gone. They want to talk bad about it. And again, this has nothing to do with birthrights and shit. So don't confuse it with what Trump is doing. Trump is only addressing illegal, undocumented people who give birth on this soil. This has nothing to do with this. So federal troops enforced laws in the South for a time. And during that time, we had Black Reconstruction. So under federal protection, where we're not exploited, we thrive. So when Myron Gaines say black folks ain't got no excuse to blah, 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 and we're losers, and tethers say, hey, you got GDP under protection, we thrive. We thrive. Without protection, we suffer. All right. So the New Deal era, so they're going to fast forward, which is kind of disingenuous. Let's fast forward. The Great Depression forced the federal government to take charge of the economy. See, because they had enough of the states. The states, again, they had different currencies. So $5 in New Jersey is like $2 or $1.30 maybe in Mississippi, and maybe $10 in Boston, Massachusetts. Who knows? But so now this is the root of bank runs that led to the Great Depression. So the Great Depression, when that happened, the federal government said, we have got enough of this shit. We're going to enforce and expand more power over currency. So massive federal programs, Social Security, banking reforms, labor laws. Courts expanded the Commerce Clause, allowing federal regulation of almost anything. You see, family? So when you guys be anti-federal regulation, whether it's USDA, FDA, you are literally a plebiscite babbling fool, and you do not know it. Because once you get challenged by someone like myself, like, why are you so against federal regulation? You don't really have a good answer. You're trying to see who incepted that idea in your brain, and it was Zaddy, maybe indirectly. Oh, the federal government. Like when you start doing that right there, you are Zaddy's puppet. I know you don't know. I know. Okay, so now, massive federal. I read that. Course expand. I read that too. Okay, so let's go further. Okay, so now let's go to the civil rights movement. 1950s, 1970s. States were violating civil rights of Black Americans. You see that? States. Federal government via the 14th Amendment. So they're equating the federal government with the 14th Amendment or extending it. Like, so they're tying them together. Like, see, when they're against 14th Amendment status and its protection for us, these coonish Moorish people, that's like you're against federal government. You're against protecting our rights, something that wasn't afforded to Dred Scott, at least at that time in 1857. So it stepped in Brown versus Board, Civil Rights Act 1964, Voting Rights Act of 1965. Okay, now massive federal enforcement in education, voting, and policing. So post 9/11 era, Homeland Security, Patriot Act, NSA surveillance, federal power grew in intelligence, counterterrorism, and immigration. Over time, the federal government evolved from a limited actor into a central authority in economic policy, civil rights, security, and more. So these folks, these racist people, these Confederates, they knew, these alt-right, right-wing conservatives, especially extremists, they know that the government, as long as the federal government is strong, they are weak. They both cannot exist together. That's why when they were strong, wasn't the federal government weak? So that's how they see it. And that's a reality. They both can exist strong together. Somebody's going to be strong and somebody's going to be weak. So now watch this. This growth sparked anti-government rhetoric and conspiracy, which we know now is plebiscite babble. So many Americans, don't forget, they're mad at the federal government expansion of power, protecting the rights of, at this time, all American citizens. Right? So watch this. Many Americans, especially white conservatives, libertarians, and militia groups felt the government was too involved in personal and state affairs. Stay out of our business. We want to discriminate against FBAs and, solicit cheap labor from FBAs and all this foul stuff. That's none of your business. Okay, now watch this. States had lost their sovereignty and independence. So back to that word. Sovereignty states had sovereignty citizens. Okay? So they lost their sovereignty and independence. They lost and the citizens lost their sovereignty as well. Now they can't just do things and don't be held accountable against us. The federal government, hold on. The federal government was not what the founders intended. Okay, that's what they would say. That's a quotation. Okay, so this led to states' rights movements, sovereign citizen ideologies, anti-tax protests, militia movements like Ruby Ridge, 1992, Waco, Waco, Dallas, Waco, Texas, 1993, and Oklahoma City bombs Timothy McVeigh. Okay, so now modern conspiracies around FEMA camp, UN takeovers, and COVID-related restrictions. I'm telling y'all, y'all just pawns. These groups often cherry pick. You turn it down. Too loud. Turn it down. Okay, don't snatch it from me. There you go. Okay, put it there. All right, so these groups often cherry pick early American ideals, like you heard from the Coon Morris people, with their Zaddy, making sure that their slave master, making sure they repeated everything correctly, and ignore why federal power expanded to protect people from oppression, inequality, and economic disaster. All right, so where's the irony? Hey, come on, let's get. So where's the irony in all this? Irony. So the irony, white supremacists who cry states' rights forget that federal power was used to end slavery and fight against Jim Crow segregation. Okay, so now many come back over here. Many anti-government groups use government protected. Many anti-government groups use government protected rights, freedom of speech. Hold on, let me make this wider. Give me a second. No, it's not open. Leave it. Okay, there we go. Got to expand it. Little reading. I know you guys. I know reading is fundamental. And everybody ain't fundamental. Okay. So did I lose anything? Okay. So many government groups use government protected rights, free speech, gun ownership, while attacking the very institution that protected them. Without federal power, FBA, Foundation Black Americans, would have no constitutional rights in most of U.S. history. So final thought was the federal government didn't steal power from the states for no reason. It grew out of necessity to protect citizens from discrimination, white supremacy, systemic racism, to create economic stability, to defend the country, to enforce constitutional rights. That's why they mad, folks. But that expansion also created fear, especially among groups who used to benefit from state-level oppression. That fear gave rise to conspiracy theories, militias, and sovereign citizen fantasies about going back to 1787. I'm going back to 87 to 87. We're going back to 7. I don't think so. All right, so that the sovereign citizen movement. So now we're going to speak more on that and more. So now we went from where it all started, and now it led to this. This is like around 1960. So the sovereign citizen movement and the more science aligned sovereign beliefs have different origins. So when y'all say we use white supremacist talking points, stop capping. They are literally using white supremacist talking points. Okay. They have different origins, but overlap in modern times due to borrowing of legal sounding pseudo law and anti-government ideology. Let's get it. So now we're talking about the origins of the sovereign citizen movement. When did it begin? Late 1960s and early 1970s. But it traces ideological roots to earlier white supremacist movements in the 1930s and post-World War II era. So ideological roots. Posse Comitatus, 1971, Wisconsin, founded by William Potter Gale, a former U.S. Army officer and outspoken white supremacist, believed that the county sheriff was the highest authority in the land, not the federal government. Argued that federal taxation, banking, and licensing laws were illegitimate. Christian identity movement, racist, religious doctrines that claimed white Europeans were the true Israelites. Yeah, so yeah. You get into it all. Yep. You got a bunch of white people from the UK. Well, this doctrine, it's not open yet. This doctrine originated in the UK and it came to America. Matter of fact, a lot of your conspiracy pseudoscience stems from the UK. and they bring it over here. Just like Garvey did. Like everybody want to bring it here. Everybody want to put a spell on us. Everybody want to lie to us. Okay, get us fooled to trick us out of our spot. Okay, so now this fueled belief that the U.S. government was illegitimate and only sovereigns, white Christian men, had true authority. So this is the origins of it. These Moorish folks came later. None of my research showed that Noble Drew Ali, the original Moorish Science Temple temples, taught this. This came after white folks. All right. So number 3, tax protests and anti-federalist movements in the 1970s and 1980s. Anti-tax crusaders like Irving Schiff, they sourcing up names out here. They snitching. Began arguing that the IRS was illegal and that citizens could opt out of federal law. So this is your status correction right here. This is your status correction. Okay, so core beliefs. U.S. citizens are actually corporate entities. This is the persons, people argument created by the government. Okay, one can declare themselves a natural person or sovereign to avoid laws. Yeah, look, family. Birth certificates, social security numbers, and driver licenses are tools of federal control. Court systems are admiralty courts and thus illegitimate. So they go in there, you have no jurisdiction. Okay, so now let's get here. Part 2, growth of the movement. 1990 surge. Events like Ruby Ridge 1992 and Waco 1993 added fuel to the fire. The Oklahoma City bombing 1995 by Timothy McVeigh, who had ties to militia sovereign ideology, marked the deadliest consequence of this thinking. The 2000s, the internet allowed sovereign ideologies to spread rapidly. They began to infiltrate fringe groups, some of who were not originally white supremacists. Paper terrorism, fake liens, lawsuits, and documents became a sovereign tactic, and also squatters. Now, look at the Moorish science and the sovereign merge. Moorish Science Temple origins, founded by Noble Drew Ali in 1913 in Newark, New Jersey. Later based in Chicago. Early focus, religious upliftment, self-identity, and community autonomy for Black Americans. Foundation of Black Americans. Not originally anti-government or sovereign in the modern legal sense, you see? So not originally anti-government or sovereign in the modern legal sense. When did Moorish groups adopt sovereign rhetoric? Look, after, this is dated, after the white supremacists. After the white supremacists. All right, the white supremacists, what, 1960s, 1970s, and here we come, 20, 30 years later. Some splinter groups, now look, I love this research. It says not the original Moorish Science Temple of America, the MSTA. It says began, so other splinter groups began blending sovereign citizen ideology with pseudo-legal Moorish claims. What's Buddy's name? I forget the name. With the shag in the back of his head. The main guy, what you think of? Hey, Vic. Yeah, the main guy you would think, what's his name? The main guy you think of when you hear this Moorish stuff that's living now. What's his name, thanks? Okay, thank you. Okay, so these newer groups falsely claim that Black Americans are Moorish nationals and not U.S. citizens. So what's his name? It's not Taharka. What's his name, family? Say I will. Okay, so they believe that treaties with Morocco, like the 1786 Treaty of Peace and Friendship, make them immune to U.S. law. That they can declare sovereignty to avoid taxes, licenses, and court rulings. A lot of guys be straight in a trap house slanking. So key features of Moorish sovereign fusion. Okay, so the original sovereign citizens, they were white nationalist groups. Moorish sovereign citizens are Black nationalists. Reinterpretation. I always maintain that, family, for years. Get up. For years, that we just paint white supremacy black. And now we're reading it. And now I got to expand this even more. Okay. Speaking of expansion, I got to keep expanding my damn stuff. Okay. So the originators, right, the supremacists, claim that 14th Amendment makes you a corporate slave. Look at the fakers, claim black people are Moors and thus not U.S. citizens. Rejected driver licenses, taxes, and courts. Same, but cite Morocco treaties and Islamic law. Off the ground, off the ground. Okay, now, they believe in reclaiming natural law rights. And look at these clowns, the splinter groups. They believe in reclaiming ancestral Moorish birthrights. So these guys are white Hebrew Israelites. These guys are just Moorish Muslims. All right, so important to note that the original Moorish Sun Temple rejects most of these sovereign citizen legal tactics, right? The groups using this rhetoric are typically splinters or unauthorized offshoots, often self-declared Moorish governments or consultants. So like, damn, like how you cosplay Moors? Like these guys are cosplaying Moors. Okay, well, sit down, people. Go. That's it, get it. All right. So final thought, the sovereign citizen movement was birthed out of white supremacy. Family, this ain't me, family. This is Chat GPT. Okay. I didn't say this. I already knew this. The sovereign citizen movement was birthed out of white supremacy, Christian nationalism, and anti-government paranoia in the 20th century. Over time, the pseudo-legal framework was adopted by some fringe Black nationalists or Moorish groups now, creating a complete or complex and often contradictory belief system. So you see, they train these dudes up. These folks right here had taught these guys because everybody comes to us when they want to push some bullshit. So if you want immigration to pop off, you come to our communities. You want the LGBTQ, whatever, you come to our communities. When you want to fight against ICE, you come to our communities. All this shit, everybody comes to us, and even these folks come to us when they want to push their narrative. Everybody knows that it's us. It's all about us. Okay. Both are based on legal fiction, misreading of law, and conspiracy theories that constantly fail in court and often lead to arrest or additional legal trouble. We're not done. What about the fact that they talk about, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, so I do not require a license. Let me just close up a little bit. Let me try to scan my chat so I can read it. Yeah, so it's a lot of reading, family. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's reading. Reading is fundamental, and everybody built for the education part. Everybody, some folks are just entertaining. The belief, driving versus traveling. A sovereign citizen argument. Core claim, they argue that traveling, the act of moving from one place to another, is a natural and inalienable right that predates government regulation, and therefore no government issued license or registration should be required. Misinterpretation of language. Sovereign citizens often distinguish between driving, a commercial activity, or use of a motor vehicle in a public right of way. Now, I could show hella, I used to debunk shit all the time. So I got hella videos of more people getting pulled over. All right. It's very funny. And traveling and individual exercising their right to free movement. They claim that because a license is a form of government control over commercial driving, it doesn't apply to non-commercial or personal travel. All right. And here are their beliefs. Historical claims of the Moorish citizen beliefs. All right, so some individuals drawing on Moorish or similar narratives argue that they are sovereign or freedmen with a historical or cultural status that exempts them from modern statutory controls. Alternate legal frameworks. They sometimes assert that common law or ancient sovereign principles, often cherry-picked from British maritime law or medieval customs, that's sad, mean that The modern strict regulations like requiring a driver's license don't apply to them. Okay, so here we are. So why these beliefs are legally incorrect? Okay, modern traffic laws apply to all users of public roads. Now, let's get to the facts. State regulation in the United States, the government has long held the authority to regulate. See, it's all about anti-government, anti-federal government. It comes back down to that. State regulation in the United States, the government has long held the authority to regulate the use of public records. This power is derived from both state and federal statutes that govern safety, commerce, and public welfare. Legal precedent. Courts across the country have repeatedly ruled that driving is a privilege granted by the state and that the requirement to have a valid driver license is a constitutionally acceptable regulation to ensure public safety. There is no recognized legislation doctrine or legal doctrine that allows someone to opt out of this regulation merely by declaring sovereignty. So you got the free movement versus regulated activity. Traveling is a right. The right to travel freely is indeed protected under U.S. law, but this does not exempt individuals from obeying traffic laws. The U.S. Supreme Court has recognized that the right to travel is fundamental. However, the government has a legitimate authority to impose reasonable regulations such as driver licensing, vehicle registration, and safety standards on that travel. Commercial versus non-commercial distinction is moot. Even if one argues that personal travel is not commercial, state law does not distinguish between these when it comes to the safe operation of vehicles on public roads. So get your own road, sovereign. You want to be sovereign, but get your own sovereign road to do what you want to do. So lack of legal standing for sovereign claims. Court rulings, attempts by sovereign citizens to avoid licensing requirements. And family, what is so like they act like to get a license, you go into debt of $100,000. Like, what is the problem? I just don't understand it. What is the problem with just getting a license on being traffic rules? All right, anyway, having been uniformly rejected by courts, arguments based on outdated theories of common law or pseudo-legal interpretations had never been accepted as valid under modern constitutional or statutory law. Misunderstanding of sovereignty, the idea that one can unilaterally exempt oneself from state law by declaring personal sovereignty is not supported by any actual legal theory. U.S. law does not recognize separate sovereign citizen or more citizen statutes that prevent an individual from complying with regulatory laws. All right, so I think I'm just going to read that. Okay, so I'll read you something. So while sovereign citizens and some who identify as more citizens claim that they have a constitutional right to travel without the need of for a government-issued driver's license, these beliefs are based on misinterpretations of law and history, modern legal standards backed by extensive case law and statutory authority mandate that anyone operating a vehicle on public roads must comply with state licensing and registration requirements. The court have consistently upheld these regulations as necessary for public safety, making the sovereign citizens' arguments without legal merit. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. This is something I do a little later. That's a lot of reading, family. I'm sorry, but it was necessary. So this is what Severe Moore argues against. Right. So he got these books he showed you in his video that he never read. All right. Then he sells his personal books for about $60. All right. So this is basically your sovereign citizen, Moore's citizen doctrine. So again, not all Moors, not all Caribbean people buy into this ideology. All right. The original teaching, the original sheiks and leaders of the temples do not buy into this. Like people who hold on to Noble Drew Ali as the authority do not buy into this. But you got fringe groups And I'm going to add this in it. You got friends groups who were kicked out of the temples who pretty much preached the original teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Those folks got kicked out, and those became targets of white supremacists to push this racist doctrine. All right, I'll stop right there, and I'm gonna read some of the chat. Let me stop sharing and read some of the chat. Which I got going on? Which I think about all this. So Forlang says it's like they don't want to be culpable for anything. Just imagine hitting someone while driving and claiming you're not responsible because you're a sovereign citizen, right? That's what they believe. Before Vengeance said he was running all over the place when I spoke to him. Yeah, they're never gonna speak to you. Like you want to talk about runners? Like that's why I don't even try. Like I got a better chance talking to a babbling tether, babbling white supremacist, babbling Afrocentric. These sovereign folks, white or black, like they're gonna plebiscite bab when talking circles. I just watched Tariq Nasheed debate them. That's enough for me. I'm like, bruh, can't be me. I refuse to do that. So American Bozo's screen name told me what he was all about. He's Jamaican, but refers to himself as American Dream. You can't, it should be Jamaican Dream. Interesting. Shit. But these guys fled their homeland. They're not going back. They gave up. So Lord Maul, okay, I read that. Chandra in the building. That's what happens when people try to make sense of the senseless, right? Americans August 1st boycott all immigrant businesses and never stop. Yeah, I'm not stopping. Like there's no deadline for me. Especially, well, okay, listen, I'm 100% boycotting the African ones. Now, the folks from the islands, I'll do the boycott, but I got more reprieve and leniency for them because they should know better. They grew up around us and things like that. But the Africans, no. But the Africans, we don't have anything in common with them collectively. They are totally just a different race. Like they're like Chinese people to us. They just shut up businesses and things like that and go. They walk right past us. They don't say hello, none of that shit. They there. So we got more of a connection with folks in the island side. So that's why I will see where that's going to go. But a connection with Africans, not likely. Not likely. Not in my mind. The South left the Union and attacked the North first. Yep. What was that? Virginia or Tennessee? Somewhere over there. Fought not to free slaves, but to bring the Confederate States back into the Union. Yep. That's a fact. No seceded here over here. All right. Just reading up. 12:15. Okay. That's a nice time. So Chandra says, in the bold, the government was too involved in personal and state affairs. That's what they say. So Derek's in the building. So Derek said, did slaves have state rights? So let me allow Derek to call in. So Derek, you can call in now because now we got more time and the show is about pretty much you. So yesterday you called into a show not about you or about anything you stand for. So this is for Derek. So now you're able to talk more. So when I do a show and you guys have something in your mind, I don't mind you calling in, but I can't make that the new show now. It has to be limited conversation, and we could pick it up on it later. So I told Derek, I said, hey, we could talk about what you got going on. So that's the link, Derek. Because I'm really talking about this because of Derek. Satch, Ohio, peace. Yes, they are in the way. The politicians also need to be held accountable. The politicians let these foreigners into FBA, yeah, on purpose. FBA communities, FBA, on purpose. Well, they knew what was going to happen. And they knew it was going to happen. And it's slick, though, because our communities they're kind of low-key, like, protected. like federal protection. So they knew they couldn't just drop them off in like urban suburban community because they pretty much are vigilante. So they dropped them off in our communities because it's a sense of protection, an umbrella from the heat, from the sun, from that smoke those folks got for them. All right. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, G Romo. Taj Tariq Bey. He's the god of this plebiscite battle. Now notice I didn't put any well-known to me more in the thumbnail. I did that on purpose. Okay, so I did on purpose. I wanted a more in the thumbnail, but I wanted somebody who's not well known, who's because I didn't want to make it sound like I'm personally attacking anybody. So that's why I didn't do that. And if it needed to be, I can do like I was trying to find I'll try to find a cartoon, but they didn't exist. I couldn't find like a drawing. Derek, you on mute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. No, you had asked me to call you?
Yeah. Because now this is more of like a show for you. Yesterday, you hopped on the tail end of it, something I already had going on.
Oh, okay.
But this one, yeah, we could talk more freely now that I did the show because of you.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I mean, I had information on it already, like it was building up to it. But because you showed the video, I said, you know what, let me just do a show with this on. Go ahead, brother.
Did you get a chance to see the rest of the video?
Yeah, I watched it all. That's why, so you must then watch this because I clipped other things.
No, I'm at work. That's wrong. Yeah, I'm working.
Okay, yeah. Because they closed out by letting their guests, the Zaddy guy, finish up. Yes, I watched the whole thing. They are really against that 14th. They are really against that 14th Amendment, bro.
Well, if you look at it from an overview, right? From 1865 till today, we have had a problem as a people directly with the government of the United States.
Which government, federal or state?
The federal government.
Okay, explain that. Because I thought I was state. I thought I issued with state governments.
No.
Like,
I'm
like
saying
okay,
us,
so like for example.
Yes.
Yeah. Like for example, did the federal government institute Jim Crow, or was that states' rights?
Did the federal government institute
Jim Crow? Was that the states? Yeah, was that the
when
states?
was Jim Crow instated?
Jim Crow stated right about 1880, right when the Union troops left the South, and when Jim Crow ended Black Reconstruction.
Okay, Jim Crow was the end of Black Reconstruction.
Yeah, but it was
1880
around there, but it's instituted by the Klan.
Okay, so when was the Klan incepted?
Okay, the Klan was 1865, right when emancipation popped off. The Klan and not just them, but the women's suffrage movement at the same time. Dude, I do this, man. Like this is my country.
I'm just trying to get a picture here.
Yeah. Cool.
So what I'm saying, okay, so the 14th Amendment happens, okay, and then the Klan is incepted.
Yeah, 1865.
So when the 14th Amendment went into play, the Klan was incepted?
They were already here, bro.
At the same time?
Okay, you're just talking now. You're just babbling.
No, I'm asking a question.
Right, and I'm giving answers, and you're repeating what I did not say. I said 1865.
Right.
Right when we were freed, emancipated. Two groups spawned: the Klan and the women's suffrage movement. Okay.
The women's suffrage movement?
Yeah, you know anything about that?
No.
Right. Okay. Modern feminists, all right, today.
Okay. So the women of the Klan, basically.
No.
This was a Black group?
White.
These are white people.
Yeah. White women.
So the Klan was white and the ladies group.
Yeah, but they had different actions, different thoughts. So no, they're not one and the same. They're totally different.
Okay. So now as a whole, What was the Klan's job?
I don't know their job. I don't know how they
Okay.
employed each other. I don't know how they paid, but
No,
I know
no,
what
no,
they
no,
did
no, no.
though.
I'm saying like as an organization, what was their now that we can look back at it,
Okay, their job was, if you want to say job in quotation, their job was to strip us from our 14th Amendment rights.
their job, hold on. So in 1865, we got 14th Amendment rights. And the Klan
No,
job,
965, buddy, 965. Dude, you're doing
18
hey, look, you used to read this stuff in advance because this just trying to learn on the fly. It's not working, bro.
no, 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 no. I'm trying to get your overview
Okay,
picture
no,
of what
forget
you're
about
saying.
mine. Forget about mine. I only repeat history, right? So all I'm doing is reciting history. So you keep trying to make it about me and family. Yes, they do. He did it yesterday.
Okay.
They keep trying to
Okay.
personalize the information. It's not my
No,
shit, bro. I'm just
no.
reading what's documented, man. I keep
Right.
saying that.
And I'm trying to understand the
So no,
documents that
but
you're
okay, but
reading.
you don't then you no Google. Okay, go off your memory. Stop asking me because shit getting annoying now. So I want you to talk and whatever, but it's being goofy. I'm giving you dates. I'm saying events, and you're mixing shit up on purpose. How about this? Stop asking me questions and go in.
Okay. So 14th Amendment happens in 1865. We're freed as a people.
No, it did not.
Boom.
But go ahead.
No?
The hell going on here?
Okay, so 1865, we weren't freed as a people? Or am I missing something?
You're missing screws in your head, but finish.
Because this is what I was taught in school. In 1865, the slaves were freed. Period. That's what I learned. Now, the 14th Amendment happened after 1865?
But you learned that in the Morris Science School?
No, I learned that in public school. Slaves were freed in 1865.
That's coming off like it's the Morris Science School. But I'm listening, bro. I'm listening to you now.
What do you
It's your
mean?
time.
When did
I'm
they
listening to you.
Okay, maybe I'm older than you. Maybe history was taught different to you. But I was taught that slaves were freed in 1865. That's what Juneteenth is. Or am I wrong?
I'm listening. I'll tell you at the end.
So now in 1865, we were freed. Now the Klan was put into conception at the same time. Now the Klan's whole premise was to run people off of this land they call the South. And they did a very good job.
Off this. Wait, so they wanted to run us to the where?
Where do we run to? Chicago, Philadelphia, Illinois?
That's not what. Are you serious? So you talk about the Great
What do you
Migration? Do you know what year that was? The Great Migration?
When was the first? The first
No,
great.
so I asked him a question.
The first Great Migration is between 1890 and 1920.
Yeah, so how you run from? We're talking about the Klan.
The Klan
we just said 1865, and you just jumped
right. The Klan
25 years.
The Klan was incepted in 1865. So by the time they had numbers to do what they needed to do, that would be the 1900s.
So they didn't want us in the South, you're saying. They want us to go to the North.
Isn't that what happened? Why did they run off?
Okay.
If they were all free, think about it. They
you
were
asked a
all
question.
free
Slow down.
slaves.
Slow down. Slow down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I asked a question, and you give me back like an answering question for him. Dude.
Yes, they wanted us off the land. Yes, that's correct.
And they wanted, and so they didn't want cheap labor.
Yes.
They didn't want sharecrop. They didn't want convict leasing. They didn't want none of that pianistic stuff. They didn't want free labor. They wanted us to do labor in the North. And they pick their own cotton. They do their own sharecropping, and they do their own everything. They didn't want us. They didn't want convict leasing, right?
What do you? They didn't want convict leasing.
Bro, do you know what convict leasing is?
Yes, I do know what convict leasing is.
Explain.
It's a part of sharecropping.
No. I mean, actually explain it. Like, what is it?
What is convict leasing?
Yeah, what type of action was involved to make it convict leasing at that time? What type of
That
action?
would be the black codes, right?
Dude, what happened? Convict leasing, these folks literally went through something and they had to do specific work. I'm asking you, what happened during convict leasing? That's not sharecropping. Although it could be that, but it could be coal mining, it could be steel mill. So explain convict leasing. If you know. If you don't, it's fine. Move on.
No, I don't know.
All right, well, it doesn't matter because it happened and go ahead. I thought you knew.
So through convict leasing, did anybody lose anything and somebody gain something?
They lost their freedom and white folks gained money.
Okay, so when a certain color of people loses their freedom, another color gains money.
Well,
now
I
in
don't know
the
about the
South,
colors though. Yeah, I don't
okay, well,
subscribe.
I'm
to
just
colors
telling
like
you, the same color people
that.
are
Sounds more
losing and another color people are gaining.
Okay,
For 100
that's
years.
called that's called systemic racism by definition, brother.
That's called systemic racism by definition. Now, how did all this? Okay, you can't have systemic racism because that's a system.
Oh shit, he's a
Right?
nine. I'm telling you, these guys
No,
sound like
hold on. Just let me
alt-right
finish.
white supremacists.
Can I finish my thought?
Yeah, he sound like
I'm
Larry Elder,
saying-
bro.
Okay, that's fine. However you want to say it, that's cute. I'm just stating facts here.
Facts.
The fact
You're just
is,
saying random stuff, man.
okay, cool, whatever.
Facts about
Because
context ain't nothing.
the time frame, okay, from 1865 to 1965, did black people lose anything?
So wait, because now you're jumping 100 years later. So I want to go back to the Klan runnings off the land. So that's back to my question. So white folks pretty much built the South, like
White
back
folks
up because
built the South?
listen. This guy he just repeat my parrot.
Okay, go ahead,
Hold on.
ahead, sir. Please.
Cool. The after the Civil War, wasn't the South in smoke?
Wasn't the South in smoke?
Right.
That's what was written. Yes.
Okay. So who built it back up? Was it white folks or black folks?
Who built it back up?
Right.
White folks or black folks?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking
Shit.
about after 1865. There was a coup in 1869. I mean, excuse me, 1889.
I'm just asking who built the South back up. I'm just asking. Was the cheap labor from foundation Black American, or was it white people working hard? That's all.
Was it white
hard-working
people
black
working
folks?
hard?
Yeah. Under duress and coercion and all type of threats from white folks for little to cheap, little to nothing, or was it white folks working hard, good proud boys out there just building the country back?
None of the above.
Shit. So who was it? Aliens that came down and built up the South?
No, the South was never destroyed.
Brother, the economy of
The
Alabama.
economy never.
Okay.
Okay, so all right. Well, how about this? Where did all the gold go from 1865?
I'm not a leprechaun. I don't know.
Hold on, sir, because
I'm
this
saying-
is what you're. Listen,
I'm saying I'm
sir,
not a leprechaun. I don't know.
I didn't ask you that because I'm talking about
You said where all the
circulating
gold
money.
go. I don't know. I don't know where he's me gold.
Sir, can you let me? You said we
You
want
asked
to
me a
have
question.
conversation.
I said go in.
Okay,
Look,
so
you keep
let
asking
me-
questions.
Where did the gold go? So now
I'm not a leprechaun,
you're
I don't
talking
know.
about it. You're not a leprechaun. So
Yeah.
was the economy in 1865 to 1932? Was it gold and silver?
Right there.
Yes or no?
It was rice. It was sugar cane. Yeah, so you had bartering systems. They were not giving people gold.
So there was
for
no
exchange
gold and
like that.
silver. There
Okay,
was
so
no.
here's this guy. I say something. Yeah, how old are you, bro?
I'm 54.
Man.
There was no pennies, nickels, and dimes, dollar pieces, silver dollars in 1865.
Hey, yeah. Okay, so you know the currency was all over the place, right?
No, the currency was not all over the place. It was
So
only
they
two
had
currencies.
So, oh my God. All right.
There's only
Okay, go
always
ahead.
been two currencies. What are you saying?
And
There's
where were
gold
they?
and silver,
So, okay,
which
hold on.
is still
Stop,
today
stop,
the
stop,
only.
stop. Okay, you're just talking now. Stop. I'm gonna challenge that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. So when the Irish came over here, and when they were working the railroads, and when they were like in the steel mills and in the coal mine, they were getting paid silver and gold.
What were they getting paid?
And I'm asking you.
They
You
were
come back
getting-
and
they were-
ask me.
They were getting paid dollars, right?
A note.
American notes, right? And,
Wait.
hold on.
So stop doing that.
Yes.
So wait, stop. Okay, let me hold it. Because now so now there's a third currency. You said silver and gold, and now you're saying a dollar bill. Okay, hold on, slow down.
Yes, paper money, greenbacks.
Okay, slow down. So now that dollar bill, was that like a federal standard, or was that each state pretty much printed their own notes?
Each state printed their own notes until 1912.
No. Actually, after the Great Depression.
What? After the Great Depression?
Yeah.
No. The Federal Reserve Act of 1912.
Wait, stop.
Circulated.
Because I just want to Google what you're saying now. All right, so you can finish, because you're saying no, I'm saying yeah. We sound like Destiny Child.
All right,
no,
cool.
no. Yeah. Okay, you said now. Let's put this in. So you're saying that from I'm typing in now. So no more us going back and forth. From 1865 to when? 1912.
1912.
Okay, to 1912. What about it? What about currency?
There was greenbacks and silver and gold.
Okay.
Each state produced their own currency.
So now you agree with me.
Hold on. Their currency was backed by gold.
But you just said no earlier.
Hold on, sir. Which one is the stronger currency at the time?
Hey, bro, listen. Hey, family.
Yes. Yes,
wait,
sir.
slow down. You asked a question, so family. I studied how how white people used to create banks. They would give people gold, insurance, and that's when fiat money was created. They would give them notes. So all those notes were not backed by gold, bro.
Which ones?
When the banking system was created, okay, dude, what are we doing, dude?
What,
when the banking system when the banking system was created,
right?
I remember this, it's like 30 years ago. I remember that they took people gold and silver and they gave them a note in exchange. They said this equals that amount.
When did
what they did was, dude, can you just be quiet so I could talk to the chat?
Okay, go ahead.
Right. So when that happened, they was giving out more notes to people, promissory notes. They were giving out more notes than the silver and gold that they had in their vault, because they used to like banks do now. You give them money and they'll loan it out to somebody else, and they kept doing that. So there's a lot of notes out there, and although it said it was backed by gold, and they said that, but this individual's private person could not do it. Had everybody came and wanted the thing, and this actually what led to the Great Depression, family. This is called a bank run, when people want to trade their dollar bills in for gold and silver, and the banks don't have enough to fill everybody's order. That's a bank run for one, and it crashes economies. But let's go back. So from because now you're agreeing with me. So but let's keep anyway. From 1865 1912, you're saying that there was gold and so there was gold and silver, right?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a note, right?
A greenback.
Promissory note. And a promissory note from each state.
Yes,
right?
greenbacks. That's what they were called.
Promissory. Hold on. Greenbacks. Okay, cool. And wait. Okay, so now what next?
What happened next?
Yeah, because you said that for a reason. You said from 1865, because you was making a point. You said and you said each of these promissory notes were backed by gold, right?
In the South, yes.
Okay, so each of these promissory notes were backed. This boy, he loved that damn Confederate South. Were backed by gold in the South. So each person with a promissory note could return it for gold or silver, right?
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Without anyone missing out, right?
What do you mean anyone missing out? What does that mean?
That means that nobody can go back and there's no gold and silver for that promissory note. So each person, so in other words, there was enough gold and silver for each person with a gold and silver promissory note.
Yes. In the South. Yes. Correct.
All right. And what else with that? So you said that to say what?
Well, I'm saying that to say this. If the South had gold and silver, what does the United States government really want? Because at that time, the United States government didn't have gold or silver.
Okay, wait, let me add it in there. And at that time, the
North, yes.
Okay, the North. Yeah, these guys, yeah, we got Clayton Bigsby on the call, and the North did not have gold, right?
Their money wasn't gold and silver. Their money was the dollar.
And silver. So they just had, so the North, hold on, the North had promissory notes that weren't backed by gold, right?
Yes.
Right?
Correct. That's been proven.
And this is the reason why the North really went to war with the South, and it was for the gold and not because of the secession, right? Right? Or to free slaves, or to free the slaves, right?
Well,
you don't sound too sure.
No. Well, if you want to say free slaves, the slaves have rights.
Ah, shit, bro. I'm just trying to
asking,
fact check.
was it
I don't care about
declared-
that. I'm just no. So slave didn't have rights.
Yes.
South, and it was where they go. So slave had rights.
Yeah, I still got to clean it. Yes.
Okay, so
Go
why did Dred
downstairs.
Scott? So why did Dred Scott have any rights?
What?
You said slaves had rights.
I'm asking.
I said no, but I'm asking you now. Did they had? No, wait, that's not, bro. You asked me what I believe from based off my history, and I'm asking you now. Did they have rights?
Yes.
Family.
I believe so.
Family.
I believe so.
This brother, don't take this personal. He's worse than any tether, far as ideology. He's worse than any tether. I wouldn't, family. I don't think I would ever hear Tether say this. He's worse than any Afrocentric. He's worse than probably a black conservative. I ain't never heard nobody. This is these Moors, man. Ugh. Okay, so black
I'm not
people
a
had.
Moor. I'm
Okay,
an
cool.
American.
I know you guys say you're Moorish American. Okay,
No, I'm
so
American.
cool.
Don't put words in my mouth, homie, because you'll never do that in my face. I never said I was no more.
He's a
Don't disrespect
58-year-old tough guy. He's a senior citizen
I'm
tough guy
58-year-old
who's
man.
being cooked. Come on, man.
No,
You
you're
ain't
calling me
right,
something and I'm not.
bro. Come on, all these
Right?
tough guys.
I never asked you to call me a
Bro,
Moor.
listen.
I never said I was.
But I know
Not
what you
once.
are, man. I know.
No,
I
you
took off your
don't.
hood. I took off your hood, your Clayton Bigsby hood, and I see it. But anyway.
You don't know me, bro.
But can you answer my question then? Why you deflect?
What's your question?
Did free blacks have rights?
Did free blacks have rights?
Yes.
Under the 14th Amendment? Yes.
No, there's no such thing as free black under the 14th Amendment. See, your history
so
is
hold
shot
on.
shit.
So those blacks, yes, had state rights.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So why did Martin Robinson Delaney wanted to leave the country and go to Nigeria? Do you know his motivation? Because he was a free black.
I don't.
No rights.
No.
No rights.
Okay.
Yeah, no rights that a white man's bound to respect.
Okay.
Not this hell.
So you're saying that that particular man didn't have rights. So is that
No.
particular man, was he,
So, okay, so you
what's
said they
his
had state
story?
rights.
Because I
Okay,
don't
no,
know.
wait. Okay, fine. Like I could make up a name. Okay, that's not the big deal. So now, what states' rights do they have? I think people want to know that. What state rights did the enslaved people have and free blacks have?
The constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights.
So they had rights that was supposed to be respected. Okay, so why are they? So were they enslaved?
You said free blacks, right?
I'm saying both.
So I'm asking, okay, so if the free people had rights, constitutional rights, the people that you're saying are slaves, are they really slaves or are they just employees of these people?
So they wanted to pick cotton, and they wanted to like around the clock, 24/7, and they wanted to be butt broken, and they wanted to be used as guinea lab rats to practice eugenics, and they wanted to do sugar cane for no money, for no gold. So they had gold too. They had gold and silver and promissory notes as well.
Sounds like it.
Huh?
It sounds like it.
You sound like Clayton Bigbie. All right,
Hold
but go
on.
ahead,
I
finish.
don't even know who that is. But all I'm
You.
saying is, hold on, sir. For real. Because you are a voice for black people.
Nah,
Foundational
no,
black
no, I'm not.
Americans.
Foundational
Hold
Black
on.
America, the lineage. Let's just say lineage. I'm only a
Hold
voice for
on.
the lineage.
Hold
That's on
on.
code, by the way. They gotta
That's
be on code though.
cool. Cool. Because I'm American. I'm not fundamental. I'm not
Yeah,
foundational.
I don't speak.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
not,
speak for you,
no,
and you're
you
definitely
don't.
not part of my lineage.
Right. Because you're not
Seven,
probably from the South.
citizen. Yeah, sure, dude. Just finish. I could just finish. But come on.
But now, um, from 1865 to 1912, was there a separate currency? Okay, answer, was the dollar, when was the dollar backed by gold?
To educate us. I don't know your doctrine.
1933.
Yeah, I don't know your
1933,
doctrine.
right?
Yeah.
With Roosevelt.
I don't know. I'm just listening to you at this point because I don't know anything. I thought I knew something, but I didn't know free blacks had state rights. I didn't know. Okay, so is there a difference between state rights and federal rights? Is there a difference?
Obviously it is, because we're all under the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment only gives you a certain amount of your actual Bill of Rights, right? You get the First Amendment,
Do
the
you
Second
see?
Amendment.
Let me ask you this:
Yes.
when
You're not getting the Ninth and the 10th Amendment. So
okay,
why is
so now
that?
wait.
What is the Ninth and the 10th Amendment? Why is it eliminated
slow
from
down.
your citizenship?
Slow down.
Yes,
So
sir.
these employees who are picking cotton and creating. So did John Brown exist? The abolitionist John Brown, did he go around killing white people because he wanted black folks to be free from their employers? Okay. Did that exist?
I don't know.
Come here.
That's a
Okay.
story.
So what about Nat Turner? Did
Does he
Nat
have
Turner
this?
rebellion?
I don't know. That's a
Okay.
story.
What about Harriet Tubman? Did she
It's a
exist?
story.
Okay.
Where are her relatives? Where are his relatives? Where's the guy
Well,
John?
what about those employees? Did they come from Africa or no? Were they already
Ooh.
were they
Oh,
already here?
that's what you believe.
Now I'm
Oh.
asking. I'm asking what you believe. I know
No,
what I
no,
believe.
as far as I know, no. Hell
They
no.
were already here.
Well, yes. True.
And they asked for
Yes.
and the white man, did he come? Was he already here too, or did he actually
Was
come from Europe?
he came here from all over the place. Not just
Yeah, I'm saying, but
not just
Europe.
Europe,
Okay, cool.
Asia.
So okay, cool. Yeah,
Where's Russia?
but okay, but the first settlers. Wait, Russia was not here. So the first settlers, the Spanish,
Okay.
the English,
Russians wasn't here.
and yeah, dude. I'm
Yes.
just asking a question. So
Yes.
those white colonists, not colonizers, those white settlers, when they came over here, did they war with the native people here or no? Or
They
they gave them
warred with the
applications?
American Indians. Yes, they
Okay,
did.
cool. And then, but they gave the other indigenous people applications.
What other indigenous people?
Well, the other people that were here, the employees.
Wait, what?
The employees. Where did they
Who are
come
the
from? Were they
employees?
already here?
Who are the employees?
You
Are
just
they
said that they work
are
for
they
the.
different people, or are
I
they
don't
the
know.
same people as
I'm
the people who
asking.
own the land?
I'm asking. Oh, so the people. Okay, so they're working for themselves. So they were not white no more. So that
So
nobody's
in
white
the
at this time.
South,
Wow,
have you
this
ever?
is it.
Yes, in the South, yes. In the South,
Everybody was
before
black.
1865, it was a black Congress
No, but
in the South.
I'm asking about the employers that ran the
The
plantations.
employees look like the same people they was
Brother,
employed.
I'm asking about the employers, not the employees. I'm saying the employers that had
Yes,
the slave plantations. Were they white or black?
black. They're the same people. They're the
Okay.
Americans.
All
So
right. Well,
you
this is
saying
look. This is. I didn't say anything. Why you keep doing that? I'm
no,
learning
no?
from.
I'm
I'm
asking.
learning. I'm no.
Okay,
I'm.
go
You
ahead.
can't ask me. I don't know because I
Okay,
thought I
go
knew
ahead.
something, but I don't. No, I
Go
want
ahead.
you to go. So now, I think I heard enough where I don't know what I know anymore. So now I'm gonna go on mute, and I want you to go without me cutting you off anymore. That's all. So I was trying to get where we were going, and now I see that I don't. I thought I knew something, but I don't. So now I want you to go, and you're not just talking to me, you're talking to the chat as well. Okay? So I'm gonna go on mute because I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want you to say I was cutting you off, and I want you now to cook. Teach us, and if I have any questions, I will ask you, okay?
Where
So
would
but
you like
cook
me to start?
wherever you need to. Matter of fact, 14th Amendment, why that came about, the real reason, and what it did destructive to us, and how to get rid of it.
Well, the 14th
I don't want.
Amendment
So I'm going to
took you
mute.
from a
I don't
state.
want to cut you off. I'm going to mute. Go
The
ahead, brother.
14th
Thank you.
Amendment took you from a state citizen, which you were called an American Indian, to a federal citizen, to a fictitious situation. So now you're called an African slave. But these people never left their land. These people have been cropping, farming for years. But now, after the 14th Amendment, who got them off their land? The government influenced the Klan. For the next, what, from 1865 all the way to 1965, the Klan has been moving people off their land in the South. Your name, American, has been usurped from you being an American to white folks being an American. But we all know that they all came here. But how did they become American and you still from Africa? 250 years later, people saying that your lineage is from Africa, but nobody can actually trace it back to Africa. All you guys have is a story. But the things that happened here from 1865 to now, these happened. The Klan got you off your land, sent you to other places, and you've been usurped ever since. The 60s, you call civil rights. Okay, they gave the right for everybody else to come in and take your place. The same thing has been happening now. Am I right or wrong? Everything you've had in the last 125 years, somebody else is doing it now. But now everybody's saying that, oh, well, black folks don't want to work. What happened when black folks was doing all these works? Back then in the 60s, being a janitor or something like that, that was looked down upon by white people. But that was a job, working in a factory. But these were jobs that we all had. Why did they send all the factory jobs out of the country to another place? Now we got to buy it. We're the only group of people who became actual people that produce shit to only consumers. Why did that happen to us? That's all I'm asking. Why are Africans coming here and saying that you're a slave? I ain't been a slave ever. I can't even find slavery in my family lineage. My family worked on the farm that my actual grandfather's grandfather owned, which is crazy. So all this you're saying that we were slaves, prove that with the records of the country, not by a book that you found in the history. I'm talking about records. Where are the records from the South of the people that are supposed to be slaves? And then if they were slaves, how did they become all federal citizens with rights? Why did they give them rights? They were slaves. They were nobodies. But you're saying the federal government came to help these people, and the federal government's been fucking these people ever since. So explain that to me. Hello? Are you there?
You done that fast? Hello?
My scenario is real quick. Because all of this is just based on these people being slaves. They can't be nothing else. Black people in the South have to be slaves for all this to work. Because if they're anything else, it doesn't work. It's that simple.
Can I read something now?
Sure, you can read whatever you want.
Cool. That's why I let you go. I said, let me let you go. So not go, you don't interrupt me. You know, respect both ways. Okay, so let's talk about this gold stuff. This promissory note. Okay, you have an interesting doctrine never heard before. It's like somebody made it up like this year. Okay. All right. Did a white man share this with you? This is what you know, or did you learn it? Like, where'd you learn? Who'd you learn this from?
I didn't learn this from anybody.
Well, you had to. You didn't always know it. You was born with it. It was in your genetics.
No.
Like what history book? Because you said you read. What books you learned this stuff from?
It wasn't. It's from no book. It's from, if you piece
The
it all
heavens?
together. No, because if you think about it, it's not one book that explains the whole thing that happened to Americans on American soil.
Okay, but how many books did you read to understand what you know?
Lots of books, lots of videos, lots of conversations with old people. Lots.
Okay, so now let me read what you told me. Did some fact checking. Quick, like you said, you was short. And my fact checking was short. Okay. So based upon what you told me about this 1865, 1912, silver, gold, promissory note, this is my research. You should. I can send you a copy to get to your leader. It says, this is a classic example of historical distortion and conspiracy theory. It says, often promoted by sovereign citizens. And I know you don't say you did that. And it says also Moore's pseudo-legal movement. It says, let's separate the facts from the fiction and break down what's really going on between 1865 and 1912 with gold, silver, and greenbacks in the Civil War. It said the claim summary. The claim is that the South had gold-backed promissory notes and wealth. The North issued fiat currency greenbacks, not backed by gold, right? So you said the North promissory notes were not backed by gold. Is that right?
Yes.
And it said, okay, it said in number 3, the Civil War is really about stealing Southern gold and not slavery or secession, right?
Uh-huh.
Shit. Family. Okay. So here's the historical facts versus false claims. It says, number 1, greenbacks did exist, but they came from the North. Is that true or false?
That's false.
Okay. Where they come from?
Greenbacks came from the North?
Yeah. They started in 1862.
The first dollar bill?
The greenbacks. The reason the word green. So the first greenbacks started in 1862 and was in the North. The Union. The Union North. 1862. So then you have an earlier date with the South?
That's actually correct. My bad.
So it just started. Okay. To the North. Okay. So greenbacks were not initially backed by gold or silver, but were legal tender for all debts except custom duties and interest on government debt, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. They were issued to finance the war, a necessity due to the scale of military spending. So the Legal Tender Act of 1862 authorized the creation of these greenbacks. Now watch this. The South did not have gold-backed currency, so that's false. The Confederacy South printed its own currency called Confederate dollars. You ever heard of that?
Yes, I did. I have.
How come you didn't mention it?
The Confederate dollar is what they're called.
Well,
Each
no, I'm saying
state had a dollar.
Got it. You said, okay, this is what you said to us. You said gold, silver, greenbacks. Greenbacks come from the North. How can you even mention what came from the South? The Confederate dollar came from the South.
The Confederate dollar, yes, which was backed by gold.
No, but you only said, okay, fine. But anyway, it wasn't backed by gold. These were not backed by gold or silver. They were backed by a promise to pay after the war, assuming they won. Because the Confederacy was never recognized as a legitimate country and eventually lost, Confederate currency became worthless. The Southern economy collapsed under hyperinflation, not gold security. Watch this. Number 3, the Civil War was never fought over gold or currency. The real reason for the Civil War, the core issue was slavery, specifically expansion of slavery into new territories, preservation of the Southern, you say one cut me off, the preservation of the Southern slave-based economy, white supremacy and state sovereignty over federal law. Even Confederate leaders like Alexander Stephens, VP of the Confederacy, admitted this in speeches like the Cornerstone speech. Have you ever heard of the Cornerstone speech?
Yes, I actually have.
So did you know that he admitted this in there? He declared that slavery was the foundation of the Southern cause of why they fought. Is he lying or what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, are they slaves or are they employees?
Nah, we don't care. He said that. And he's from the South.
We don't care.
Okay. Yeah, we don't care. Right. So gold and silver redeemability was a national issue, not North versus South. After the war, the U.S. moved towards a system of redeemable paper currency. The Specie Payment Resumption Act of 1875. This is 10 years after, after Emancipation Proclamation, 10 years after. Reinstated gold backing by 18. So gold backing didn't start until 1879. Okay, so the debate between hard money, gold, silver versus soft money, greenbacks was nationwide and continued through the populist era. It says, see, the free silver movement, William Jennings Bryan's Cross of Gold speech, 1896. We got people sourcing up. They got speeches. Now, number 5. There was no secret northern plot to steal Southern gold. The claim has no historical evidence and is not supported by any mainstream academic historian. It is often based on pseudo-historical interpretations, cherry-picked facts, or completely fabricated documents. Basically, white supremacy, right? Plebiscite Babel. Why do sovereign and Moors groups promote this? Because their belief system relies heavily on financial conspiracy theories, claims the U.S. currency system is illegitimate, e.g. Federal Reserve, fraud, fiat money, theft. They believe in returning to gold or silver-backed economy tied to natural rights, frames the federal government as a corrupt corporation established after Civil War or in 1933 are false. So the federal government, what was it here before or after 1933?
The federal government was here before. How do you think the 14th Amendment was in place?
Cool. These groups often mix real historical events like the introduction of greenbacks with completely false motives or interpretations, like gold being the real cause of war. Okay. So the final verdict: claim the North used greenbacks during the Civil War. True. The other claim: the South had stronger gold backing. Completely stupid false. The Civil War was fought over gold. Retarded. People redeemed greenbacks for gold during the war. Just the most retarded thing that any human being could say. People with no formal education, no nothing, would say some dumb shit like that. This is here's the other claim. This is a valid basis for sovereign citizen ideology. Okay. Completely discredited. Okay. So everything you said.
What exactly is a sovereign citizen?
Huh?
What is that? What is a sovereign citizen?
You.
No, I'm not. I go to work every day. I pay taxes.
Yeah. No, but there's no such thing of it, right? You would claim that there's no such thing.
No,
I answered you.
That's an oxymoron. That's like saying the motherfuckers are African American.
No, but that's you though. We think you're oxymoron. Like we think everything you said so far was moronic.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So if the question that you're saying is moronic, so what happened in 1933?
I got something better. Hey, bro, where do you teach this at? Like the video you sent me yesterday, or there's other place that we can research?
You can talk to them guys. They did a video. Did you call them?
No, I'm saying, like, what's the
Are
goal?
you
The goal
what
is
they say?
no. Hold on, I'm asking a question. If the goal is to teach the American public this version of history,
Yes, because the white people that came here didn't have nothing. But you're saying they had something. I want you to show me what did they have? Because you just explained to me the U.S. government had fictitious bills.
I never said that.
Now there's pennies, nickels, and dimes.
I never said that. No. Well, we don't believe
it was fiat currency.
Because everything, but that's not fictional.
What is fiat currency?
It's called a promissory note. It's promising that the Confederacy did it too. So the Confederacy had fictional notes too. You just said there was a Confederate note as well.
Okay.
So they both was promising some backing after the war. This was so they both did it though. You was acting like one side.
No, hold on. This is what I'm leading up to. In 1933, 5,000 tons of gold were confiscated.
Where are you reading
American
from?
Street.
Wait, hold on. Where are you reading from?
What? Where am I reading what?
That from?
That is from the historical. From
what
Google,
literature
actually.
are you reading? Because you're actually reading. You're not doing. I was reading. Now you're reading. Okay, so where are you reading that from?
I'm not reading nothing.
But that's not come off the top, man. You're
what do
reading
you mean
that.
It's not come off the top?
That's
what happened. In 1933,
no, I'm saying, but you're reading
President
it though.
Roosevelt, I'm not reading anything.
My God, family, what's with these folks, man? So I gotta remove you. I gotta remove you. So he's now he can't tell us where he got this from. His sources are like mysterious. He's actually reading. I know where he's reading from. He got one of Sabir Bay books. Dig. So let me do this. I mean, you can always come back and in the chat, whatever. But you are not of our lineage. Let's make that very clear. I don't know where the hell you from, but you are not nothing that you're not on code with us. Nothing about you is lineage. So, you could always talk in the chat and give information. But I want to make that very clear. You are not one with us, my boy. You over there with tethers and white supremacists and Afro-centric. My man gave a history that none of us ever heard a day in our life. Well, I can speak for myself. This dude said that folks taking cotton were employees to their own people. But he still got to explain the duress labor, working under duress and coercion and violence. I don't care. I don't care if it was their grandfathers, their forefathers, grandfathers. They don't have the right to beat the hell out of you and make you work with cheap to little no labor. I know you're not black. Nothing about you black. I said you Clayton Bigsby. Nothing about you are black, my boy. But, thanks for pulling up and giving us this new 2025 doctrine, or at least in it, for sure in the 2000s, for sure. In the 2000s, for sure. Oh my God. See, Diamond said, I'm still stuck on employees. Yeah, so family, this got to be a playback. I'm going to couple this one with the one we did from yesterday. This guy, Derek, is a unique character, but man, listen, we are, well, I can't say weak. I don't know what the hell he is, but family, do not be so easily duped. Stop falling for white supremacy, plebiscite babbles, just because you're mad at a situation or reparations ain't coming or systemic oppression. Please do not fall for stupid shit that's happening. These guys are trying to give you a blue pill, right? They're trying to blue pill you out of reality with these crazy ass doctrines. And he feels good waking up every day believing this shit. He feels good every day waking up believing this shit. Pure garbage. Okay. Yeah, I was getting hungry anyway, but I'm like super duper hungry. Tethers cause confusion. That's the giveaway. Yeah. What I mean, they were employees. The South was just so rich. The 14th Amendment is the problem. That's the enemy. The 9th Amendment was making shit up. I asked about white settlers. He didn't even know what Black Reconstruction is. He don't even know what like the Klan and the women's suffrage, but he knows. So all that's fake history. Like he said, and I see why he don't know it. He said it's fake. It's made up. It's something that we were taught in our school system by, I can't even say white people. They might be black people. Like the Klan might be black. Like why? We don't know because he's saying they're all black. So this is the first I ever heard that. And then when I asked the question, this he'll plebiscite babble and ask me the question back. I say 13th Amendment, 1865, 14th, 1868, and he will come back and repeat the 14th Amendment was 1865. So I'm like, is that what you believe, or are you repeating what I said? Like, what are you doing? Like that's circular babble. Circular babble. Yeah, we ain't gonna. Okay, when we come back, they'll be done. But I gotta go eat. I'm gonna get me a nice little cheese steak today, because that right there was just too much for me, man. Too much. All right, well, I'm gonna take the end of that and the end of yesterday and combine it into one video and play it over so y'all can meet Derek, the American, whatever it went. It got to be American with 3 Ks. It got to be. His name is it's spelled AMERIKKKAN. I should have asked him about Garvey. I know, because Garvey loved the KKK, so I know he was going to be tuned with Garvey. Yeah, no, I didn't know this guy. I be looking for like a light thinker. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know what. You see how I asked, and then I started to put two and two together. I started to ask questions, and then I was able to like, oh, I know. I think I know where he's going now. Then once I figured that out, I went on mute. Go in. Because I was just going to show my findings to my crazy ass doctor. Family, it doesn't make sense to be a stupid conspiracy theorist in 2025. We got AI. AI is going to cook you every time. All right. Hi, family. I hope you guys had a laugh. If not, replay it again and later today and get your popcorn and soda and to have a laugh. But the laugh will be better when I combine this one with the other one. So with that family, I'm out of here. I'll be back probably 3:34-ish. Yeah, because I gotta eat. Derek, thank you for adding to the content, but brother, you were clearly reading, and I'm not reading. Then I asked him, where'd you get this from? Oh, all different type of books. Like what book? Oh, brother, the Book of the Skies. Okay, there's a book in the mountains of the Himalayas, and it's in a volcano, right? So there's a pterodactyl that I usually fly me over it, and it goes into the volcano, and I grab the book and I go out, and then when I read a chapter or two, I summons the pterodactyl, and it brings me back into the volcano. I drop the book in there again, and I go back out. So, brother, asking me for a source is just stupid. You don't have the fingerprints to open up the book. It requires fingerprints. Okay, and the gods, plural, are not going to allow you to even come close. So crazy, we are crazy. I can't say we. Some people are crazy and whacked out, and they want you whacked out with them. Okay, who knows? I wonder if his bottom lip look like that damn meth smoker white guy. Yeah, these guys be on meth, man. Crystal meth, you shit. All right, family, I'm out of here. I'll be back.